Alright, get back to some Grand Order. I think it's gonna be fun. I got a little bit of farm. I've gotten all the essentials done, so I'm just gonna be farming a little bit of this gold currency, a little bit of silver currency, getting the last things done because it's no, why not? We still got time left on the event. It's a great idea to farm all the event materials if you got the extra AP because it's more efficient than going to most other places. Like if I was to just farm for, I think the Divine Wine is left. Don't worry about the low skilled waiver, I'm sure it triggers you, but we were just leaving him in the back line. Yeah, so why am I streaming at such an early hour, you might ask? Well, see, holidays are an amazing thing. Through the magic of holidays, I can in fact do whatever I want. Stream whenever I want. It's wonderful. Through the magic. Probably have chat open. We probably have chat open. That would be a good idea. Popular. All right. Oh yeah, Arash can melt these guys, no problem. The only downside is Nizla doesn't have a great battery or great NP gain. This is going to be a little bit of a fight. Pick some random cards. Arash is going to kill these guys anyway. Our good friend Stella, never disappointing. Alright. We'll probably get like a second AoE Lancer at some point. Not really sure who I like as far as AoE Lancers go. They all seem they're almost middling. I also think it might have been a better idea to just bring Endvasile to this node. She's not as tanky as Q, but you know, she's gonna hit way the hell harder because she's got what, 50% damage on top of her Berserker damage modifier. Come on, Mom. Nice to be able to play games in the middle of the afternoon. Really like just doing that. It's not often I get to do this, you know, work takes all your time during the day, so you gotta play the evening. I usually play like super late in the evenings because usually like really tired after work, and a lot of times I just take naps. But usually like my usual schedule is like get up, go to work, get home, nap, maybe have dinner, then stream. Seems like not a bad life. I mean, I actually like just streaming for fun. Like, I'm gonna be playing these games anyway, so why wouldn't I just hang out in an environment where, hey, someone might randomly drop in, talk Fate series, talk Grand Order, you know, whatever with me. I guess that's why there's a lot of people who stream who like, don't have a ton of views. You're just gonna like it's nice when people just come in and hang out and you just like vibe with people. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna kill this guy. Waver isn't gonna do any damage for us yet. Yeah, I figured that was massive overkill. I was contemplating actually picking the quick card just to get more stars, but I mean, we're not gonna kill this Pumpkin Knight regardless. Right. He's putting all those buffs on because he's nervous. I mean, you can sympathize with him. He's got to deal with like 6 servants by himself, and he's got like a quarter health from the one time we attacked him.
世に見惚れたか？うむうむ、この正直者め。
Thanks, Cider. Alright, we're gonna have... Actually, he does about 100k with his lance, so we probably don't... I'm looking at the numbers, I don't think we... I think we just use both NPs, because we won't ever kill the first Pumpkin Knight. Accidentally, especially with like this setup. Depending on our cards, it's possible that we like crit him with one card. Instead of farming, you're watching people farm. I mean, sometimes it's fun just to hang out with people and farm at the same time, right? Like, if you're just gonna be farming... Like, if you're gonna be farming anyway, you just turn the volume down and hang out with someone. Comment when you're like, oh, I just screwed up. Like, what do you do for these nodes where there's, like, a mountain of guys? Like, obviously, if there's, you know, 3 sets of 3 guys, you go, like, an easy 3-turn comp. But these extra spawn nodes, I find kind of interesting, because you're, like, just face carding sometimes. Like, is it worth it for me to open up a spreadsheet and figure out if I can possibly kill this in 5 turns? Like, a lot of the time what I do when I'm not streaming, when I was just playing Grand Order, is I would actually just open up another streamer, listen to them chat or do whatever, so I was like, do I want to keep doing that? Figured I'd like to chat with people, because sometimes I like having the conversation focused on myself, right? Oh, you can definitely, I wish they'd told you when the next Lost Belt, or not the next Lost Belt, when Oniland is. Because I'm certain you could actually clear Lost Belt too. I had another guy in my chat, and he was just doing Lost Belt 1 last week, and he's already done the Lost Belt 2. You can definitely do it. Like if you want to get into Oniland and get Shooting Caster without rushing through it, you can definitely do that. We're looking for gold materials here. Whoever gives me gold. I don't think Lost Belt 2 is hard enough that if you cleared the first one at a reasonable pace, you couldn't get through it in a while, like maybe a weekish. If Oniland starts tomorrow, you'd still have... I'm assuming it's going to be 2 weeks because it's a new event. You probably still have at least a week to clear stuff. You don't necessarily have to rush. I think when I cleared Lost Belt 2 for the first time, it was like a week-ish on natural AP. Like, I wasn't appling on it because there were no events at the time. Yeah. I would say don't skip the story. The absolute worst case scenario where it takes you like 3 weeks or something to clear the story, and you don't get to see Oniland. You're gonna get Oniland rerun next year. It's not like you'll be missing out on anything permanently. Like, I would actually say this event that we're currently in is more important because there's no rerun for this for Ellie-chan. For Mecha Ellie-chan. Like, this is the rerun. Yeah, I'm super invested in the story too. I really liked... I think, this is like one of the first mobile games I actually started playing, and typically, when I play mobile games, I play them for like 2 days. Yeah, Christmas this year doesn't get a rerun either. But you got a lot of time to clear Lost Belt 2 for that. Yeah, Christmas this year you definitely want to hit. It also gives you a ruler, which is really nice, as extra classes are generally hard to come by. Yeah. Yeah, only Anastasia is not a big deal. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I'm not the biggest Quetz fan, but I definitely like her. She was fantastic in Babylonia. A little bit torn on whether to give Ku enough NP to kill this Hydra. I guess it doesn't really matter. Ruler Quetz is cool. I don't actually have a ruler right now. I'm excited just for the ruler, but I can definitely see why you like Quetz. She's so fun. I'm slightly disappointed that they cut some of her lines in the anime, because I really liked some of her optional lines depending on your dialogue. They went for like a lot of the more serious stuff. She leans a lot harder into the loving Lucha, if you read it. Ton of casters. Oh, I know that feel, man. I was rolling for Gilgamesh during Gilfest, and I didn't get Gilgamesh, but I got Anastasia, Nidochris, the caster of Midrash, I forget her action. Queen of Sheba, right? Queen of Sheba, Cersei, and who else did I get? Oh yeah, Nursery Rhyme. All of them. I was like, am I rolling on the caster rate up banner? Because I'm only seeing casters. It's pretty funny. So, I'm super in the hole in terms of caster gems, because I was a little... At least casters are fun. I think casters are a pretty fun class as far as classes to have a lot of servants in. Like obviously you have your big four in casters that you all want, like, you know, having Scotty, Merlin, Waver, Tomo, they open up a lot of compositions that wouldn't otherwise be available to you. And a lot of the other, even the other casters, you're like, well, now if you have the big four, you still want a DPS caster, an AoE DPS caster, and then maybe one of the other supports, like Hans is kind of fun once you've maxed out Bond on other servants. Oh yeah, only Archer Uriel. Yeah, that's a little bit painful. I got Emiya like around Babylonia, so I wasn't in too much trouble in terms of casters. Where was it particularly painful to only have Uriel? Like, she's super good in Babylonia, or she's super good in Camelot. Like, you really then appreciate her there. I don't know. I have a couple decent archers, especially now because I got Archeria during that banner. So my archer roster for killing bosses is pretty much set. I was hoping for Gilgamesh because then I'd have AoE and sort of a second single target archer who's faster, but didn't happen. Instead, half of my friends trolled me by all sending me screenshots of them getting Gilgamesh a couple weeks ago. Kevin, a lot with no Lancer Sabers, and you're like, yeah, I had the same problem. I was just cruising through the story. I was just cruising through the strikes. It was relatively easy. I wasn't even like doing like solos and stuff. I was just having a pretty good time. I think the first boss I even noticed the difficulty on was like Ku Altar's final stage, and I got into Camelot and I was like, oh man, my stuff is so underleveled and like desperately needing specific servants to get through it. Yeah, I ended up stalling on Gwen for a while before I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this Uriel's skills up, I'm gonna get her another ascension level. Then you get through it. Yeah, who did I have? Who did I have for Saber? Alright, I was using like Dion because he was like my starter 4-star. Dion is not a good servant if you do not have him at Final Ascension because he's a tank, but his tanking skill is on his 3rd skill. So for like the first 40 levels, you're like, why is this servant so bad? He has an evade and a debuff cleanse. On Ultra, you realize, wait, I have a Gawain and a Medusa. Oops. Mistakes were made. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, the Altria battle was, I found that pretty difficult. I actually just got my first 5-star and it was Altera. And that was actually a really close fight for me. I think I ended it with like literally less than 100 hit points on my last servant. I had like everything planned out down to the turn of what I needed to be doing. I thought that was fun. That was one of the first fights I was like, oh, this is super fun. Planning at it. Made me enjoy challenge quests when I started running into them. First ever servant was Siegfried. Oh man, I'm having such a tough time with this Saber boss. Ah, yes, it's like I should have brought sabers to this Lancer boss. That happens. I had one of my friends quit for the longest time. He actually just came back like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Man, I thought the only gold servant I had was not Saber Alter, Jean Alter." And he's like, "Where did I get Yuri Pirates?" And I think he had something else. He had like 4 stars sitting around. He's like, "I forgot I even had these. I thought this account was like super E-luck, like E-rank luck." That was funny. Like, if you take a break or you're like not focusing on people, it's easy to forget you have a lot of servants. I did that a little bit. Like, when I got Hokusai, I was like, can I just apply Hokusai to everything? Like, yeah, we don't need to farm with like an AoE Berserker. We'll just use Hokusai because she's also good against Berserkers. Hurl Dantes on the catch. Ticket. Oh. That's a good feeling, man. You throw like a couple tickets hoping to get an event CE or something, and you get the 5-star. Easy to make a lot of people very jealous on the internet with those. I mean, we did plow through that guy in like 3 turns. I don't think this matters too much. YOLO. Yes, I'll do a YOLO roll. Yeah, those early morning or really late night YOLO rolls seem to be the most successful way to get servants. And remember, you only ever get the servants you're not expecting. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I swear, like, every time I do something like that where you're just YOLO rolling, because you're like, yeah, you know what, I got tickets to burn, or I kind of want the CE, you get that. I had a similar experience with Okita, actually. I was rolling for Poster Girl, so I was like, I'll throw some Saint Quartz, a couple tickets at this. Naturally, I get Okita, and I'm like, I threw a whole pile of Saint Quartz. I didn't really want this Saber, but okay. And then 1,200 Saint Quartz into Gilgamesh, he doesn't show up, but I have every caster under the sun. YOLO rolls are the way to go, man. Also feels super good to get to like... Also feels like way better if you're not actually aiming for something and you get something, rather than if you're like, I really want this and then you don't get it. Oh, nice, nice. I haven't logged into my JP account yet in a while, but I think I logged in just for Caster Artoria and got her. Like the minute I was like, oh, I have Saint Quartz on this account. Yeah, I'm gonna roll for Caster Artoria. Immediately, of course, get the Caster Artoria. Oh, I should have actually used his card here. Oh well. We're wasting potential damage. Where's Moon Cancer Kiara? Oh yeah, the Summer Kiara, that would have been cool. I'm not a huge fan of her costumes, but or her animations, but like a Moon Cancers are super cool. I like her in concept. I don't like the execution. I don't know. Who wants damage up? NP4 Hylia, NP2 Summer Brynn. Ah, that sucks. How much Saint Quartz was that? MP4 Ilia, that's gotta be a lot. Either that or you're insanely lucky. My JP account has like the weirdest luck. I don't remember what I was rolling for, but I got like three 5-star CEs and 2 4-star CEs in like one 10 pull and a 4-star servant. I get like the weirdest luck there. It's like I don't even play this account and it just like gets everything it wants. Except for King Hassan, which is why I made the account. I made the account when the King Hassan banner came up. Didn't get him, of course. All my YOLO rolls, because I don't care about the account anymore, get a lot of luck. Alright, we failed to kill Tesla. Oh well. Yeah, that's not so bad. I think it's fair to spend a bit of money here and there. I'm not big on. I don't really think the game's worth wailing on, but like, I can definitely see spending money here and there because like the game's definitely worth playing even in comparison to its contemporary games. Like I have, you know, like obviously if you're playing Grand Order and you're spending money, you're not super broke, so you can probably afford to play any other modern game. A little money here and there for your favorite servants, or because you want to support the game. Definitely a good idea. Still would have been nice to have gotten that. Next Kiara banner fun. That's not a bad idea. Like, $100 isn't so bad. Yeah, my personal rule for we got fruits for days. That's okay. It's okay to be a simp if you're into Hololive shit. They'll always everyone will memes that they're a simp and doesn't care. It's only on Twitch that it's a bad thing. I mean, I personally don't care where people put their money as long as they're not expected. Like, if you give money to a streamer, you don't expect them to give you any special treatment. Unless they said they would. Kiara's pretty cool. I liked, I'm excited to play the CCC event, because she does get some story in that, right? Nothing. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a good feeling. The bonus course. Yeah, I think yeah, it's next year we're getting the rerun. It's gonna be good. It's a lot of people have hyped that event up for me as being like a full pseudo singularity rather than just a farming event. So I'm really looking forward to it because I mean farming events are okay, but you know I'm here for the story, man. Like my decision to play this game was 100% predicated on whether or not their movie was any good. I was like, I will play this game if this movie gives me a good hook to play the game. Obviously, I'm here, so I like the movie enough. Like the First Order movie. I haven't seen it, it's just the Fuyuki Singularity stuff. I think they actually put it on Netflix this month. Or last month. Yeah, it was like September 4th or something like that. Yeah, it's great. It's great. The only downside of the Lost Belts is that we're only in the starting phase of them. Like they have to kind of ramp down the story a little bit. They ramp down the story a little bit just for just because the major plot arc ends at Solomon. But we're definitely getting somewhere. Yeah, yeah, that was my rule. It's like movie sold me. I'll give the game a shot. Got burned out on a lot of really early mobile games. If you remember when mobile gaming first became a thing with the App Store, a lot of those games are freaking terrible. Yeah, Solomon was that's very sad. I was on the verge of tears for that one too. I was a little bit less sympathetic in Lost Belt 1 because, I mean, you're trying to destroy these worlds to restore human history, so I kind of expected the person to be dying from, like, the very start. Gordolf? Yeah, he's not the greatest. I'm told that I mean, you kind of notice it in the second Lost Belt. He's a little bit less of an uptight asshole. I feel like they're gonna make him slightly better as you get through the Lost Belts to the point where maybe he's like an okay character. Around 6 or 7, which isn't even out on JP yet. I was like, he's not completely irredeemable. Yeah, he's definitely super annoying, especially in like the intermission before you start the Lost Belts. You're like, man, I want this guy to just keel over and die. He's just as bad as he was in Apocrypha. Yeah, he's not a great replacement for Romani, and he's supposed to be irritating as shit, which is the worst part. Like, it's not an accident that you dislike him. I probably... Yeah, you haven't played through the second Lost Belt, but I feel like he's slightly better in it. You're like, I can see they're trying to redeem him. Make him less of an irritating piece of shit. Right. And I totally should have just MP'd that stupid Hydra. This was a dumb idea. I'm distracted and playing poorly. Yeah, that prologue's pretty rough. The prologue's pretty rough. I've been watching a couple of good anime films lately, actually. They've been pretty good at keeping me on the verge of tears. Is it Gordolf's father? I think it's Gordolf. This is a different timeline. Apocrypha doesn't happen in Grand Order. Gordolf music? I thought he. I'm gonna look him up right now. Oh, it might be shit. Oh shit, you're right. It's his father. Oh, it's Gordas. They look so similar. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They are so similar and they acted the same, so I just assumed they were the same person and a different version. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I like father like that. So difficult to stand. Like they're like exactly the same person. That's so weird. I didn't look it up because I saw Apocrypha way before I played Grand Order. I can't believe I made that assumption. That's completely wrong. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if anyone actually likes Gordolf. I hope he gets better at the very least, or do they just kill him off? But I'm not sure they're gonna axe him like they did Romani. Oh, Dion's not a trap. Dion is whatever gender Dion wants to be. They actually just changed gender. They're like, gender is super questionable because you can't tell what they are at any time. But it's not determined. Astolfo is very clearly a male. Oh, we need like 900 for this. I had no clue how much I needed for these Divine Wounds. Yeah, throughout Anastasia and the prologue, you're like, please, can we just kill Gordolf? Like, why is he still here? It should be like the first thing we do is stab him, but like kick him to get him out of the freaking way, because all he's doing is impeding our progress. I'm actually gonna try change to Berserker here, since we have her. Yeah, Astolfo is definitely a trap. A trans woman, yeah, that's fair. Astolfo is best girl, but he is definitely a trap. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I like the way they do it in Fate. Absolutely, it takes a real man to be best girl. Much like Speedwagon and JoJo. I didn't really need to charisma there. We're gonna do this. Although, if I'm being honest, I actually really like Mordred from Apocrypha. So she's best girl in my mind. I just meme that Astolfo's best girl. Weeps. Yeah, maybe these guys are onto something. Oh no, he's going in deep. So is it all Fate figures? Or is it like mixed? I'm actually surprised at how expensive some of the anime figures are sometimes. Rearrange my stars, please. I want these on Buster. Perfect. How the turntables have turned. I understand why people buy figures though. I looked at figures and I was like, holy shit, these are expensive. Like I play 40k, so I know how much that much resin should cost. Like most figures that are like Knight sized or like Knight Titan sized, like the larger end figures. I was like, okay, these are really expensive for what they really expensive for what they are and the amount of detail work on the model. I was like, maybe I'll just like buy DVDs. And then I saw how much the DVDs for things were. Like, Aniplex is the person who brings the Fate series, or at least has the license for Fate Zero. And the DVDs for Fate Zero on their website are $300. Yeah, you can find some stuff for decent deals on Amazon or eBay sometimes, especially used stuff. Depends on what figures you like. Yeah, you can open up Amazon or Netflix or Crunchyroll and watch the whole series there. The only thing they're missing is some of the bonus materials, which you can also find on YouTube. There's like a therapy session with Iris Veil for all the major characters from Zero. It's actually quite entertaining. Yeah, I totally see. It's like, I was like, man, these are... The only reason I was looking at DVDs instead was because, like I said, the figures looked so expensive. It's like, I'll just go look at something else and still support the company. But now I'm like back to, I'll just buy figures because it's not as... It gives me something tangible that I didn't already have. And, like, again, those are super overpriced DVDs. Like, I've bought almost every season of Star Trek for my dad because he loves Star Trek. So I know how much a season's DVDs cost, especially when they're out of print. Like, there's no way it should be several $100s. Like, 100 is like your high end. Yeah, I'm currently just deciding which figure I actually want to start out buying. There's a few I have in mind. I don't know, one of those people who sometimes spends way too long thinking about pointless things. It's like, oh, do you want to move to a new city? Decides in one day. Which anime waifu do you want to buy a figure of first? Spends 3 months. Yeah, you could buy. It's like I could just dump a pile on Saint Quartz and get something that's actually useful. I mean, this being Grand Order, we could very well spend $300 and get nothing. What happened to all my friends with the bonus lightning shit? They all disappeared. The worst thing about the friend support list, there's one there, alright. Oh yeah, sure, go for it. If we're on all the time, I won't kick you off. As long as you're building your roster. It sounds like you're newer. Sounds like you're newer, so you may not have anything amazing for me, but as long as you're playing and building your roster, I don't mind too much. I have a couple people I know in real life, and they are literally dead weight. Like one of my friends literally refuses to put a servant in his saber slot because he's like, this is reserved for Nero when I get her. Nobody else takes that slot. Oh no. Good, man. I'm not too picky. I actually just cleaned out a couple slots in my friends list because I had a few empty slots. I had people who hadn't been on in like 3 months. Like once you haven't been on in like I think a couple weeks, it's like basically impossible to see that person on your friends list. Which means they are literally just taking up space rather than more metaphorically. I mean, it's better to just put like your 3 stars in. Like I mean, I have Nazah here who's a 4-star, but I actually just leave Ku in because I like Ku better. My support slots most of the time. Nth needs some star absorb. Ripperoni berserkers with no defenses. Alright. Oh yeah, this is the guy who has underleveled skills. I wasn't expecting to actually lose someone at any point. Ushiwaka's okay. She's another servant. She's another servant that gets much better when she's at like level 70, having her 3rd skill, and has all her abilities. Has all her abilities and her upgrades done. She feels. People say she's really good at killing demon pillars, but if she doesn't have that evade on the demon pillars pseudo NP turn, I feel like she just dies and then isn't doing much for you. Alright. Yeah, you definitely want a decent rider, unless you're like double Scottying your way through everything. Which I guess you have a Scotty and a Dante's, so if you have the K-scope, you're basically set. I don't expect you to have a K-scope. We're not in danger of being. Yes, one day, 3 years from now, when DW stops updating the game, or moves on to something else, you'll have that K-scope, for sure. At least K-scope's like... Yeah, at least K-scope's a general pool K-scope. Is a general pool CE, right? It'd be the worst if they made it limited like they did with like Golden Sumo at their anniversary. Well, we got one of like the... We got a really good Buster CE this event, which is nice. Like, aerial drive is nothing to sneeze at. Aerial drive, and I think you said 100 days. How many days has it been since the summer events? Which you may or may not have participated in? 30, 60, 90-ish. You might have participated. I don't know if you were doing events, but you might have participated in the summer events. Those both had a decent Cs. Yeah, aerial drive's really good. It's one of the few CEs I've actually started pushing up in levels. I think mine's like 60 or something right now. Oh, bummer. Rider Ishtar, but no Ascension materials. You just have to do the esports Rider Ishtar. Because her first skill is actually really good. Unfortunately, you probably don't have poster row, but there are some, I think there's another CE coming out at some point that gives you like at least one turn of taunt, so you can sometimes get her killed. Just put her on the field with a highish level version of her first skill to give other people. I think it's like Star Drop. Hold up. Anyway, you wanted friend code. I don't actually know my code, so I'm gonna look that up right now. There's my friend code. You can send me a friend request and just post in chat what you have in your some of your slots and what your name is, so I can actually see you. Because I just leave people. If I don't actively need someone and my friends list is mostly full, I've just been leaving people in the requests queue. Great, okay. Late night. Let's see if it showed up yet. When I can type. When I can type. What am I doing? 327-867-786. Yeah, it is gonna be a little bit delayed. Like the best you can do is like 4 or 5 seconds off. Oh, there we go. Mr. Dante's. Actually, what is my support list right now anyway? I didn't roll for shit on this event. My event support list right now is super weak. It's alright. I think this is an alright support list. Ishikata is a fun guy, but unfortunately he's like stapled to a gut CE because he has no defensives. But he's really fun to mess around with because he gets more crit damage and higher NP damage the lower his health is. And if he's at like 1 hit point, he can, like with minimal buffs, do like 150k to anyone because he's a berserker, of course. Fun times. Yeah, it's not bad. I got Hokusai and Hishikata from the GSSRs. The rest are rolled up alright. The rest are rolled up. Yeah, I think it's pretty decent for like. Yeah, your Archer Artori, you're kind of stuck just hoping to get her from. I mean, there is technically a banner for Archuria, but I believe it's like a massive split banner where you're going to be rolling with like every single summer servant ever made. So I don't really consider that a rail raid up banner. So you're like stuck hoping to get her from GSSRs, but she is good. It's really fun to use her. Just looping with her indefinitely. I kind of wish I got her NP2, but I'm happy with one. Since again, I was trying to get a good. I was actually aiming for Knight of Marines with her. I was like, Knight of Marines or Arturia, and I'll stop. Because I want a good, quick CE for Okita. Unfortunately, she's not 10 yet because I'm stuck in Feather Hell. Feathers are the worst. I don't roll up a random. If I don't roll up a Lancer I really like though, I think I'm gonna Grailku. Because he's just money every time. I mean, Knight of Marines is good even unlimited Roken, because it gives you like 50% I think at what level at first version. But yeah, getting CEs instead of servants is. I mean, the CEs are nice for gameplay, but if you like the servant, it doesn't feel that great. If you are looking for the servant, it feels way worse. Because, like, the servants definitely give you more value and are more exciting to use. Plus, it's more common to get CEs anyway. I was kind of rolling for both on her, but I wasn't super committed because I was saving for Gilgamesh. I think I got, yeah, it was like 280-ish St. Quartz for Archeria. It was like the low end of, it was like the low end of average, yeah. It was because you expect around like 300-ish for a 5-star. I was in like the 200s when I got her. Yeah, the one thing I'm not happy with in my support list is Archuria has Painting Summer right now. And Hokusai has Drive to Blue. And I don't know which one should have which. Oh man. Yagyu and Valkyrie? On the Raikou banner, of course, though, right? Servant luck is D. It comes and goes. I think this game is good enough to play even if you don't have all the servants you want, or most of them. I feel like my roster is... I'm fairly lucky even if I didn't get a lot of the servants I was looking for. Like, I got Semiramis when I was rolling for Jack. Moderately irritating. I was kind of hoping for an alter ego for this one. Yeah, 2 free heart attacks. Oh man. At least neither of them are berserkers. Yeah, sitting EX is good stuff. He's a fun single target servant for 4-star. And like, since you got Scotty, having someone who lives with them is huge. I think my worst heart attack was I was rolling for Mordred in the Apocrypha banner. It's a solo raid up, and I wasn't getting her. And I was like, I really want Mordred. I'm gonna spend everything I have. So I was like down to rolling single pulls. My last single pull. No more St. Quartz, no more tickets. I roll. It's rainbows. It's a saber. Gold saber. You're like, 5-star gold saber on the Mordred raid up. It's gotta be Mordred. I got bad news. It's Artoria. Oh man. I was so salty about that for the longest time. Those are sometimes brutal. You're like, see gold, and you're like, it's gotta be them. Somehow we still have to do. The brutal spooks. They're so bad. We're not looking for Fluffy Boy. We're looking for... It's so bad. I know, right? I think Scylla is a little bit faster, but also risks dying. But I think we'll be okay regardless. Not particularly worried about wiping here. Oop, story. That's bold. Story rolls. That's like even more wild than those YOLO rolls, because you're like, I could get freaking anybody. Although, you might get some really good servants that are story only. Like, I'd really like an NP5 Bedivere, and he's just a 3-star. Bedivere is most loyal knight. As I'm sure you know. Gotta have that Knights of the Round support list, right? A little bit hard to do Knights of the Round support list since half of them are Sabers. But I still want to have the team. Then maybe I'll just have a dedicated team that's just like all Knights of the Round. Obviously a Buster team, because Merlin's the only caster we can get right now. Sure, give me Saber Lancelot. That's pretty good. Saber Lancelot is not story locked, I don't think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I actually rolled him on a banner that he wasn't on radar for, so I'm pretty sure he's not story locked. But that's still a fun time. Haven't actually leveled him because he requires fangs, and so does Artoria Archer. Dragon Fangs are currently in short supply in my card deck after getting Artoria and Artoria Archer. They both want, for like the 6th level of their skills I think, they both want 24 Fangs for every skill. And then Fangs to level up. That's still a fun pull. I actually really like Saber Lancelot. If you don't have... I believe people think he's like... Now that Diarmuid's out, I think people have been saying that he's like a worse version of Diarmuid, but he's actually a really fun servant to play around with. Let's just put these off cooldown real quick. He's like he's self-sufficient, and it's super handy to be able to just pull out a servant and do like a ton of damage. Just do a ton of damage. No, they don't really need support to do their job. Yeah, Fangs are hard to get a hold of right now. We can waste that buff with this. I don't remember what Ushi takes. At least Fangs kind of just show up here and there. No, no, shoot Naza. I'm okay with you shooting Naza. Thank you. Alright, alright. Let's see this story, Rolls. I'm watching. I wanna see him. Okay, okay, that's a good start. Oh, nice, 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 a Black Grail. Oh, that's what you're looking for. Like, you could get that anywhere, but you still want a Black Grail. Those are so good. Like, if you get nothing else, Columbus and Black Grail, that's a pretty good, it's a pretty good roll. Your first caster? Good. Wow, this is a good tempo. Getting a 4-star and a 5-star CE and Columbus is not bad for a 10 pull. I don't know how many temples you actually did. Black Grail is really good. There were several damage thresholds I wanted to hit that I actually needed Black Grail on for Hokusai during one of the summer CE, the summer challenge quests. Like, I have a Heaven's Feel, but it's like just that extra damage from Black Grail is what you need. Congratulations on that Black Grail. I'm sure that's gonna see a lot of use. I mean, you got Columbus, who is story locked, and you got like a 4-star Serpent, which isn't bad. And you got a 5-star CE. It's pretty good for a single temple. Obviously, like you're kind of hoping for your like Ku Altar and caster Gilgamesh. I don't think is story locked, so that kind of not amazing, but getting a 4-star in general isn't the worst. I don't know how many people actually like Columbus. I have someone on my friends list who has a level 100 10-10-10 Columbus who's MP5, so I know that person likes it. Personally, I hate that guy. He's a dick. But if you like Columbus, that's a big win because you don't get a copy of him for beating Agartha. Oh yeah, these monuments also exist. think we're just gonna do chalk though. Oh, Caster Guild. Oh, you mean Gilderay? I don't know. He is story locked. Okay. Yeah, Gilderay is story locked. What do people even use for Tentacle Man? I know he has fish face. Yeah, I can see how there'd be some confusion there. I made the assumption. Oh, guy's a dick. Love to hate him. We're changing to rocket farming. I mean, the artist made him so sketchy. Like, the first time you see him in a graphic, you're like, this guy is clearly evil. I have no clue why we're siding with him. Give me those rocket drop rates. Come on, people. Do we have someone who's not a caster? Because I'd rather not just love my cat. Whatever. No, Caster Gilgamesh is fun. He was one of my first 4 stars. I really like his NP animation. I could watch that thing all day. I just have a thing for all the shots firing up in order. I know that feel about having too many casters. I have a few gold casters, just a few. I leveled this one. Hold up. You cannot see. I'm gonna do multi-select. Oh, not you. I got all of those recently. It's not a good time. It's not a good time for my caster gems. Oh, there's this one. Yeah. Oh yeah. My Gil banner rolls. Okay, I can do this. I know it's there somewhere. Acquisition. There we go. My rolls on Gil's banner. You can see the day I rolled. Oh, that can't have been too long ago. Happy birthday, man. The one nice thing about casters is I kind of like a lot of them. Like, I really like Cersei. I don't know if you skipped the pseudo-singularities, but she shows up in... God damn it, Salem. That's what it's called. She shows up in Salem, and I absolutely loved the way she was, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so good. She's so cute. She's so fun. Burbcaster is great. Alright, we're swapping to assassins, so... Acquisition date, probably not super useful. Semiramis, Shiki is definitely the way to go here. Ime. Yeah, some people skip the pseudo-singularities if they're in a hurry to get to unlock events. Or they just want to continue with the main story because they're kind of tangents. Yeah, a lot of people, I've read that a lot of people didn't really like Salem. I didn't mind it. I thought it was decent. Some of the plays were actually kind of fun. I have a screenshot on my phone, but it's the one line where John Alter Santa Lily is like, alas, this land has been forsaken by both God and reindeer. Probably my favorite line from that singularity. That was like the big bad wolf play they did. Oh, it was so good. I can see why people wouldn't like it though. There's like a lot of weird tangents sometimes in the plays that aren't really progressing the story. Where it feels like they're not really doing much, they're just faffing about for 5 days until they kill a boss. Like, there's a lot of frustration to be had in that story, because your characters are so passive the whole time. Man, fighting Abby was fun. I was like, how many times do I have to kill this woman? It's like, she dies, she comes back, and you're like, alright, we'll go again. We'll go again, and again. I completely forgot her NP removed debuffs before damage. When I fought her, which was really funny, because, like, I used her all the time. Like, because Agartha's before that, so I used, like, a ton of Abby to kill her, like, the Megalos boss, and all the other Berserker bosses, and then when I fought Abby, I was like, wait, she removes buffs before damage? Oh no, oh no! Yeah, the plays aren't, like, super plot relevant. You can kind of skip the plays, because they're not useful plot relevant, but I feel like they're pretty decent quality in terms of writing. Like, you have some fun in most of them. Yeah, my favorite one is the play with all the versions of Jean. That was the best one. Oh yeah. Well, the only thing that beats foreigners is other foreigners, right? Like, Berserker doesn't have class advantage, and the only foreigner at the time of Abby's release was actually Abby. So, like, on her banner, release banner, if you don't roll her, you have no one who has class advantage against her. So I don't think they could make it that hard, just on that basis. Yeah, the plays are rather enjoyable, but there's a lot of, like, plot elements in the core story of Salem that are really frustrating. Like how basically your whole team just sits there and faps about in their base until things happen. That's true. When was the first Alter Ego out? I wasn't actually playing around then, so I don't know if you could having support. Oh yeah, I imagine that made things way better. I'm pretty sure I dragged someone's alter ego. I might have just done, like, who did I bring for Salem? Good question. Who did I bring? I know I brought a support for damage. Oh yeah, I just brought Meltrellis. Meltrellis does a disgusting amount of damage to her. FGO servant release order. I don't. I want to roll. By IDs release may as well be release date. Except for a couple servants. Blah 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 blah. Where is Abby? Abigail Williams. Oh yeah, I guess there's Mecha Ellie Chan. When did... Oh, there's a few alter egos. You definitely could have used alter egos in that fight. Yeah, Melt's out before her. Melt and Kiara, you could have used most of the alter egos for that fight if you didn't have them. Still, alter egos are pretty rare class. I imagine it could break. Imagine it wasn't too bad on release, because I was thinking for some reason that Salem Kit was like way older. I just realized that it probably came out like November-ish last year. So Meltrellis actually came out, or not Meltrellis, Abigail actually came out around the time I started playing them. Like a month or two after that. Oh, we leveled up. Alright. Yeah, Maelstrom is a really fun servant. It does a crazy amount of damage. I'd actually like a cop. I think. No, because they have Okita Alter. I don't know who my favorite alter ego is then. That's a tough choice. Either Okita Alter or Meltrellis. They're both really fun. Is it good? Oh, the horseshoes? Horseshoes are a pain in the ass to farm. They're, you get those... I think the best drop place is still in, like, Camelot, right? It's a silly place. $28. Come on, Semiramis. Come on, 28. Like leaving someone half dead. Come on. Yeah, horseshoes are pretty valuable. I had a hard time with them when I started playing. Yeah, because I couldn't ascend Ushiwaka Maru. I remember that. He's one of the servants I wanted to ascend, and I was like, the most reasonable way of farming them is in this thing in Camelot, which I haven't cleared yet. Otherwise, you have to spend like 500 AP to get a single horseshoe. Ooh, ghost lamps, yeah. Ghost lamps here and there. I haven't actually looked at the materials for Oniland. I usually only look at the materials I need, so if it doesn't have a ton of them, or I'm not like super far behind in them, like I'm almost out of feather hell, so not too bad. It has ghost lands. Okay, it has like ghost lands and horseshoes. I wonder what else it has. We land eventually. What do we have in the shop? Expand to all shops. Aurora Steel, Black Beast Grease, Scales, Monuments. Oh, it has feathers. That's good. So I guess I'll be basically done my feather farming if I do that event, which I'll obviously do. Arts, code openers and removers, needles. It's this one, right? Yeah. Oh, deadly poisonous needles. I need a mountain of those. I just found out Caster Gilgamesh needs a ton of them. Like a disgusting amount of them for his last skills. Does Oniland have ghost lamps? I don't like. I don't see ghost lamps in the store. Yeah, you really only need, yeah, once you get MP5 Ellie and all the ascension items, you can probably stop. The only other thing I would recommend getting is the NP5 or the max limit broken aerial drive from this event. You want to make sure you have like all the welfare servants because it's really useful to have them, especially alter egos, which is like hard to acquire. Oh, drop strain fights. It has lamps. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at. I usually for event information that's like upcoming event information that hasn't been announced or had like a proper guide made for it, I typically just go to Grand Order Wiki. Not that I like them for anything else, but their upcoming events and banners stuff is pretty useful. Oh, yeah, I was just looking at the store. Yeah, getting things in drops, especially if it's in the key farming nodes, like the best in slot ones, is pretty handy. Like, I think I got like 20, 30-ish Dragon Fangs just from farming the bronze shop currency. Which is basically like a shop, which is basically the amount you get in the shop, right? So, worth going for. Yeah, the Fandom Wiki is good. The Fandom Wiki, I think, I prefer their interface for servants. And like, they have all the audio files uploaded. I don't like their event interface as well. Especially when I'm trying to figure out what banners are coming up next. I don't think they do an amazing job displaying that. Yeah, actually, you know what? This shop is okay. It actually gives you the quest information too, which is handy. There's main quests. I guess it has more information. Grand Order Fandom definitely has the most information in general. See the free quests. Okay. Are these best in slots? Needles, lamps. Okay. Yeah, that's not a gold one. We probably want the gold apple ones. They probably have the best drop rates. Octuplets, arts and proofs, wine and bones, magmata and rings, bones and spirit roots, stakes and pages, dragon fangs and feathers. I see ghost lamps on the silver completion reward one. I don't know if those are the best drop rate ones though. Let's see. They give 500, 800, and like 2 of something. They may not be the best drop rate for event materials, so you may not actually be doing yourself a favor by farming them. I don't actually know that much about the event. Where's the, let's see, point rewards? The point thing. Oh, sick! We're getting a raid event. What do we get from the raid event? Oh, I guess chains are okay. Mostly just QP. That's good to know. We're getting a raid. Have you done any of the raid events where there's like a fixed number of kills needed to take down a boss? I don't know how efficient the Oni Land one is, but the Apocrypha ones were insanely good for materials and for QP. And for ladder point, like event materials, like, not the materials, but the points, because it was like a ladder event. Like, you got so much QP, so many material. It was like, the location was better to farm for the material, gave you like 1,000,000 QP per run, and then also gave you points on the event ladder, and was the best thing you could farm at that time. So typically they're really good. Hopefully this raid, what's this raid quest have? Just a single boss, 600k Berserker, 800k Berserker, 1.2 million Berserker, 2.5 million Berserker. So it's like a single target boss, which is a nice time to flex all your favorite single target servants. Yeah, I don't know how efficient this one is in terms of drops, or how long he'll actually last. Like, Apocrypha had like a week of like different raids rotating every other day. And some of the bosses dropped super fast. Like, we had like a couple million kills needed to kill some of the guys in the first wave. And I went to bed, got up, and, you know, the event starts. Like, I go to bed and the event starts, I think, at like 1 o'clock. And there were bosses already dead by like 8 in the morning. Like, I got home after work that day and was like, oh, there's no raid bosses left. They're all dead. Thankfully, there's like a ton of raid bosses. This one, I think, has a really high kill threshold because there's only 3 of them. Like, 14 million is pretty high. You'll almost definitely get a few runs in on him. How much QP do you get per run? Notable drops. Yeah, he's giving like 500,000 QP. Does it say? I would expect him to have really good. I would expect him to be highly efficient. I haven't looked up a proper guide on Oni Land. I'll probably do that like the day it starts before I start playing. But raid events are typically good farming, and I like that you get to actually use your single target servants, because like, or no, it's 90% of events that are just farming events where you're like doing 3 turns or face cards on random with random AoE servants. Yeah, when the raid event comes along, you definitely need to focus on anything you want out of killing the raid boss, because it is a limited time and it is determined exactly by how many people are participating and how often they're spamming apples. Yeah, sounds... I don't know what day Oni Land's coming out. It's like the only event they didn't give us a date for. They just gave us sometime mid-October, which could be freaking any time. It also means they could just delay it. I mean, the options are probably like tomorrow or next week. Tomorrow, Friday, or next week. You're probably hoping for like the 19th or something. It'll give you plenty of time to finish Lost Belt too. Thankfully, there isn't a massive difficulty spike in the Lost Belts until like, I think 4 or 5? I know the latest Lost Belts on Japan are really hard. I haven't played them yet. I have to actually get my account all the way through there. And since I like the story, it's hard to play on Japan because I'm like, I can't read Japanese that well. I know like I know like 50 kanji. It's like, I don't know what any of these words mean. I guess I can read servant names in Japanese because most of them are katakana. Chapter 3, Arrow 4? Yeah, you have a bit of ways to go. Do we have 2 Arts Katsushiki? No, just 1. Good start. Lost Belt 2 is an interesting world. I like what they did with it. I kind of wish some of the Norse stuff was more powerful, but I think I like. Did I like Lost Belt 2 gameplay wise better? Sure, I feel like they are very similar. The new servants were cool. I don't remember at what point. No, just play through it. No delays. I guess you gotta do your farming here, but I think at some point Da Vinci tells him to fuck off and takes over for a bit. That makes you feel any better. Wally Vinci's good. Very good. I'm glad they kept her around for us. I mean, she has 2 servant forms. I think 2 servant. She has like 2 versions of herself that are available. I think that's not bad. We don't ever need Artoria numbers of servants. Every time you ask for an extra version of a servant, DW and Type Moon decide that they need another Artoria. Vinci. We don't have. Weird. We only have Artoria's like is one of the few Face Day Nights characters that actually have like a lot of versions of those. We have like 3 versions of Medusa, but no Summer Medusa. We have no extra versions of Hercules. We have 3 versions of Gilgamesh. Hello, Zenith. We're complaining about how there's a million Artorias, and yet there's no Summer Da Vinci. I should probably mana burst this. Who else? Who do we need? I'm just thinking of all the Fate Stay Night servants who don't have multiple versions. We only have like 1 Hercules. Maybe they'll add Alcades. She is the face of Fate. And I do actually like some of the alternate versions. Like, they have a good excuse to have some of them in there in the first place, because, like, Saber Alter is in Fate Stay Night anyway, although her personality is non-existent. Kojiro and Hassan, Kojiro and Hassan don't have any alternate versions, now just Hercules. Medei has Medei Lily, I guess. No Summer Medei though, we need a Summer Medei. That'd be cool. Archer... Yeah, that's weird. I keep thinking Archer has a lot of buffs, but he doesn't actually have any alternate versions of himself. We have, in theory, we will get, what's his face, Muramasa, right? As a Shiro stand-in. But we don't have Emiya in more than one servant class. Oh yeah, we do have LDL. I keep forgetting he's literally in the same class too. Yeah, he's even an archer. Oh my god. He's an archer and he shows up in Shinjuku. And I somehow forgot about him. Wow. Alright. I just like seeing Da Vinci in the store. I did not like seeing... I don't know when... Oh yeah, you started playing not too long ago. Before the Lost Belts came out, when Da Vinci was just dead, you only got a hologram of Da Vinci in this regular store. I was like, oh no, I don't need this reminder every single time I go into the store that Da Vinci's gone. I think they also did that. They might have also done that in Camelot when she disappeared. Kinda liked that change. I just remember having a holographic Da Vinci in the store, being like, I didn't need to remember this. That was a decent fake out in Camelot. Yes, it was Camelot. Okay, I knew it was sometime. Looking at holographic Vinci and be like, ah, oh, so painful. Why did you have to go out like this? Yeah, I spent a while in Camelot because my account was massively underleveled. Maybe that's why I remember it, but I'm not sure what point it was. No, yeah, because they reintroduced Da Vinci almost immediately, right? Feel like how's that thing? She gets stabbed in the intermission between the start of the Lost Belt and the end of 1.5, and then like two seconds later, she's like, "Surprise, I'm back." So holographic Da Vinci wouldn't have made sense there. Foreshadowing there. You can all be grateful that Da Vinci has a backup body this time in place. And it's a cute and very happy. I mean, I'm okay. I'm not the biggest fan of lollies, but Da Vinci does alright. It helps that she's also not like half naked and is actually wearing a dress that reminds me of her older self. I like the costume change, it was very nice. Even if she wasn't a completely new servant, I think it's still pretty cool. Would have been cool to give her like a dress or something. They like so nicely changed up her whole costume to fit her new body. She's just small Da Vinci. It's great. Da Vinci was good in the first place. Da Vinci was good in the first place. I think the new one's a little bit cuter though. Less Ara Ara, more kawaii. Ah, that's what they did. Okay. Alright, it was hologram in Camelot, and it was empty. It was empty when she just is believed dead. Okay. That's painful. Like, it's like a subtle change they didn't have to do, but it definitely drives the impact home, right? Gotta appreciate the little things they do in this game to keep you involved and driven in the story. Because like depending, like some games wouldn't change that at all. Even if they're still good games, you don't always have to do that. Cause, like the story is sometimes super more meta than real. Oh, I didn't know your room was dark. I don't check my room very often. Silly mobile games making me feel things. I don't need to cry over all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, the prologue was sad. So was Solomon. The last two Lost Belts have been a little bit sad too. Although I'm kind of leaning into grim over sad. Cause like I guess I intuited that they'd have to kill everyone in the Lost Belts, so oh shit, I was supposed to be farming shock, not lightning bolts. Ah, shit. Alright. Whatever. I discovered that actually spending 200 apples is like a ridiculous amount of effort for a lottery. About 100 is how much I want to do. I might do more if I decide to start streaming a lot more, which I have been, but actually spending 200 apples is a lot of effort. So I have all these apples somehow still after a lottery. The music in Anastasia was fantastic. I loved their inclusion of Dies Irae. It was like, this is the perfect choice of music for this boss battle. And not only is it cool that he's playing on piano and they have a piano cover of it, but Dies Irae is also by Mozart. Like the perfect choice of music for Angry Piano Man. Grilled Salieri is good shit, yeah. I personally liked the soundtrack of Babylonia and Camelot a little bit better. Apart from the obviously great Angry Piano Man scene. Yeah, it's like Salieri doesn't actually seem to hate Mozart. It's just how he's being forcibly portrayed. How did we get to be 1% off on NP? Come on, Shiki. All your grails are flamed? I need to spend my grails. I was originally planning to spend them on Gilgamesh, and I keep not getting Gilgamesh. Like I've almost just decided to give up and go with grailing someone else. So I just can't get him. All my real life friends who play this game have been trolling me. Like, I had a friend who quit, who started just because Gilgamesh was on raid up, like, during Gilfest. He's like, oh, Gilgamesh, I'll roll for that. First 10 pull gets Gilgamesh. Shows one of my other friends, who starts the game, rolls Gilgamesh, and sends me a screenshot. I'm like, you didn't even play this game 5 minutes ago and you have Gilgamesh? I can't get him? Funny times. Yara or either Vinci. No, both Nobunaga's and some are VV. I like Nobunaga, she's great. I wish I was playing when the Nobunaga Archer came out. Cause she's a welfare, so I can't get her. But I'm a big fan of Nobunaga. I'm really loving, I mean, I know it's focused on Okita, but I'm really loving Fate type Redline as they're writing it. If you aren't following that, you're probably doing yourself a disservice if you like Okita. Summonable Solomon. Yeah, he's super gone. It was kind of that was a big twist, being like, oh yeah, our good friend Romani, who looks nothing like Solomon, is Solomon. Haha, joke's on you. I have an Okita. I rolled on her banner hoping for Poster Girl and got Okita. And as much as Poster Girl is way better, I'm really liking Okita. She's super fun. It's like playing with a Saber Jack. It's okay, she's actually got a banner now. We know that she'll get another banner. She's not gone forever. She's even getting strengthening. Things are looking good for Okita. You're just gonna have to wait till the year 2022. Waiting is painful, and I wish they had... it wasn't as difficult to acquire some servants, but... At least she's coming back, for sure. And we now have a timeline. Knowing that it was gonna be more than 2 years is the worst part, because they didn't have a banner for her on JP. But now that they've had one, at least you have like a clock before you can start rolling for her. Caster Artoria is pretty cute. You don't like Nobukatsu? Got grails on both Nobunagas, but or have you not heard of Nobukatsu coming out? Because that's pretty new. That's true. He also is a limited friend point summon, so you definitely don't need to save for him. Nobukatsu is elevating simping to a whole new level by being the first servant who does nothing but simp his sister. I mean, I don't mind not having too many servants that new servants that I really like, because I feel like I'm super far behind and missing out on a lot of old school servants. Yeah, our favorite Syscon is just a it's like we didn't want to buff someone so soon after releasing them, so here's the dedicated Nobunaga support. Knock yourself out, guys. How much of these do you actually need? Oh, you need like 800. Oh, whatever. Meltrellis? I like Melt. Melt is good. I was actually just a bit before you showed, I was pondering to myself whether I liked Meltrellis or Okita as my favorite alter ego. We know Cider likes Kiara, who I'm not sold on yet. I mean, I know she's good practically. I'm just a little bit put off by her. Meltrellis is fun though. I absolutely love bringing her to what was the last time I used her? It wasn't Salem, but she was really good fighting Abigail in Salem. You could just kill Abigail like every single turn if you loop with her. Passionate. Yeah, Passionlip's another weird one. Like I get that all the BB alter egos are supposed to be weird and funny, and some people really like them. But yeah, Passionlip is also not really for me. Yeah. It's still nice to have the variety, because like you know there's people who will appreciate those servants, right? It's not like they're the focus of the game, so. Like, there's definitely people who are like, I want an... Oh, it's All Might! Yeah. Hello, All Might. What is your favorite servant? And why is it the person who Buster crits the hardest? Saber is a Buster servant. That much is true. What is my favorite Buster crit servant? I think I still like Shelter the best. She's a good classic. When I absolutely... Oh, that's a good question. What's the hardest everyone's hit? I think I've hit for like... Outside of events, I think I've hit for like half a million-ish with Skaha on Divine with a few extra charisma buffs. Oh, I guess that depends. If you play on JP, you have you just straight up have 5 Buster cards. I have Artorias. I can't wait to see that. There's gonna come a day when I draw a handful of Artoria cards and I'm like, I'm gonna just click this Buster card because I want to see 5 Artoria face cards that are all Buster. Oh, I like some of those unique skills. That one's a really cool one. When you absolutely need to deal a bajillion damage, you're just like, I see red, I click red, Buster Brave chains. Classic Saber. Classic Saber is good fun. I think I still have friend slots. Best wipe. We got a big Fate Stay Night fan. Is the Fate route also your favorite route? I know a lot of people who love OG Saber like that route so much. Oh, we got a couple turns on that, okay. I actually... I'm not the biggest Saber fan. I did appreciate reading the route. It made me appreciate Shiro and Saber a lot more. I hope I didn't used to sympathize with a lot of the people who were like, oh, we need the Fate route readapted so we can experience it properly done by Ufotable. But having read it, I read the Fate route beginning of this year. I can definitely see why people say it would be way better if it was properly adapted. I'm actually going through the other route I haven't actually played because I thought, what type of servant class would you? I mean, I want to be. I know I'm gonna get killed, but I want to be a Lancer. My favorite servants are in the Saber class, for the most part, but I want to be a Lancer. I just like spears. You should read Fate Stay Night. If you haven't seen the Avenger Altar, you are a very, very angry person. Oh no, if I'm a Lancer, I would die first turn in every story. But that's what happens to me anyway when I play games. My worst nemesis is gravity. Even in games where it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, I leveled up and have another friend slot. Just like the Avenger Altar styles. They're cool. It's pretty hard to summon you. All Might Altar. A very, very angry All Might. Wouldn't that just be the villain from like season 3, his nemesis, whose name I completely forget? The guy he United States of Smashes. Someone who hates the hero, the idea of a hero. Yeah. Yeah, all for one. Because his main ability is his traits one for all, so someone who has literally opposite powers would be like his alter ego. Depends on how alter they want to do it, right? Like Okita alter is like very similar to the regular Okita. Then we have like Jean alter, who is literally the opposite of alter. That OP. The OP for that season was so good. Like, there's a few anime OPs that I watch every single time they come around, and that's definitely one of them. That season was surprisingly good. Ku alter. Yes. Ah, yes, naturally. If we just distort Ku Doggo, he turns into a dino who's kind of evil but also doesn't care because he's being forced to be evil by the Grail. Weird plot stuff. Yeah, alter. I think alter is more just like changes. You just don't know how they change. Other than that, I think for the most part they change on. Oh, because Okita isn't evil. I was gonna say it's like usually like an alignment swap, where they just turn the good, evil, lawful, chaotic, but Okita kind of ruins that idea.
あいつ11の骨幹飛べそこだティアムトムーム起動信頼の力で何がやろう
Dino boy. Have you seen that? Have you seen that? Gonna do your first multi? Good luck, man. I hope you get 5 stars. Lots of them. We had Cider doing story 10 pulls earlier. I think he got like a black grail on his first try. Saber Alter is kind of evil in her story. The first story she shows up in. I don't actually know what her alignment is mechanically right now. Good luck, All Might. Send us the tales of your victories when you return. I don't know if he's actually left now. Here, I'll go to Type Moon Wiki and look up Saber Alter's alignment. I thought she was evil. Load faster. Yeah, she's lawful evil. She's just straight up lawful evil. That's true. That's true. Cursed Arm has like 0 personality in Stay Night. He's a complete asshole. He's kind of just evil and faceless. A 5-star and 2 4-stars. Hot damn, man. As is suitable for All Might. He is the strongest hero and also the strongest at pulling heroes, I guess. You know, power draws power, right? So if you're the strongest, then you'll also pull the strongest heroes. Alignments are very weird, but you don't have to. We actually want to charisma this. I feel like he's not actually super evil in Zero, and he's more just like a dick. And when he's Altera Vlad 3 extra injection, shit, really? That's a hot roll, man. I'm jealous. Altera is pretty good Civ. The only thing she's missing is a battery. She's got like that Star Absorb, the Star Generation, a solid personal charisma. Your first ever multiple. Damn, bro. Either that's probably the best luck you're gonna ever get. Everything else is gonna be downhill from that. Uh. I mean, he's chaotic good, right? So he values his independence, and what's his face is totally restraining him, and also not above murder. But I guess Kira is also just straight up like evil. Like it's not even close. It's kind of weird. I don't think they did like strict interpretation of D&D alignments for Fate Tonight, because obviously like killing someone is like wrong, so you're performing an evil action. But it seems like sometimes they kind of like mix the alignment of what you were as a person, like what your alignment would have been considered when you were alive, rather than what it is right now. Because like I think Gilgamesh kind of values people. He just wants people he thinks he's above people, right? And he's not super happy with the world as it is. I'm not sure what happens in like Fate Stay Night, because he's kind of been like covered in Grail mud, which is like all the evils of humanity is a curse, which probably fucks with your head. So I can like him wanting to destroy the world, like kind of weird. But yeah, maybe how you perceive yourself or how you are on the whole. Because I don't think in Zero he wanted to like reset the world. Because he's basically just like faffing about, having an alright time in Zero and being irritated that his master's not respecting him as a king. Like, his interactions with Tokiomi are just, almost all of them are negative. It's like, the first fight, he gets pissed off at Lancelot and he gets command sealed back. And remember, he's like Gilgamesh is like, I'm better than fucking everybody here. So when he gets treated like he's beneath someone, he's probably super pissed. I mean, Tamamo in Extella is perfectly okay with watching the world burn as long as she can sleep with the protagonist. It's like, oh yeah, everyone might die, but as long as I get you as my husbanda or waifu, she's okay. Yeah, certain personalities do shift depending on master and who they're summoned by. Like, it makes no sense that Zoken, without spending command seals, would make Cursed Arm completely silent. Yeah, no, in the route for Tamamo, she Nero approaches. Nero's also from Extra. Nero approaches you, and it's like, hey, shit's gonna get fucked if Altera conquers the whole moon. And she's like, and it's like, we need to combine the personalities of our protagonist again so that they don't potentially die. And she's like, fuck that, I have my own copy of my husbando. I don't need you or yours. Dude, if you get like a second 5-star servant in like 2 minutes, oh my god. Be crazy. You will earn the hatred of like everyone in chat right now. he's not arrogant. He's you're not arrogant, you say. I guess it's just he's that strong, right? That strong. It's All Might after all. Mine took me like a month-ish. You're not dumb enough to lose to Shiro? Wait, is there actually a language censor in chat? Is there actually a language censor in chat? I don't actually know. Ah, okay. I mean, I can't tell. It just looks like he typed stars.
ああ
Yeah, I didn't bring in Nightbot right now. There shouldn't be too much in terms of censorship. Yeah. Finally done with the event. I mean, I don't really need the materials I'm farming for this event right now. I'm kind of just doing it because... Yeah, see? We got baited. Nice bait, bro. Nice bait.
11の国間起動
XP. Yeah. Yeah, there's an XP event running right now. I don't know. That's a tough choice whether you do the XP or the event stuff. If you've gotten the NP5, the NP5 Mecha Ellie-chan, and you've gotten Aerial Drive, Max Limit Broken, and you've gotten all the Ascension materials you need, you can probably just wait on the XP a little bit. Yeah, you got a few days of the XP farm, right? It's like all week. There's no real reason to rush on that one. Like, the important thing, well, if you're just making decisions, the important thing during events is that you get the things you won't be able to get in the future. So, Mecha Ellie-chan, MP5, Max Ascension, and Aerial Drive, because Aerial Drive's an insanely good craft essence. From there, you just determine what's more important to get right away. Like, I don't know where Soul Blade is in the story, but if you can't get at some of the star mats because you straight up haven't reached the like Lost Belt 2 or something like that, then you probably need the star mats. Otherwise, if you've unlocked like the best normal farming node for them, it's not a huge deal to skip on a few mats here and there.
飛べ落ちよ
Like, the impression I get from someone who says they need XP right after Guildfest is that they're probably newish. Oh. I'm surprised you need XP then.
つまらん
あいつやれやれ
無駄だ
Oh, yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
やれやれあいつ
I know that feel.
そこだ
I used to have like horrendous migraines all the time, and sometimes it just like completely destroy like my entire weekend or like an entire week. Yeah, QP is one of those things that it just comes and goes. Like, some days you're like, man, QP is a terrible reward. Other days it's like, here's a bajillion QP. Yeah, that's a pretty brutal cough, man.
夢の終わりだ
I mean, you don't have to wait a whole year for the next lottery. There's another lottery in a couple months.
浮上せいああ
Getting hit by a brutal cold is actually a little bit more terrifying in this political climate, 'cause we got COVID and shit, right? feel like if I had like a really, really bad cold, that's what I'd be worried about.
起動
Then have to like stay home from work for a few weeks, be worried about literally dying. Like that's probably a pretty fucking stressful time. Yeah, there's bones. Yeah, I feel like as we're going into winter now, so I don't think too many people are gonna be that worried about like cough or runny nose as much.
授けてやる
Cause like where I am, I've already had a few pretty cold days that are down to like a couple degrees.
飛べ
I think most of the people in chat have got Lost Belt 1 done. You also need Lost Belt 2 for the next event.
やれやれ
あ
なんだよ
Oh, it's not limited boxes? That'd be cool.
ま切りがいがあるのはいいことだよね
Yeah, the Gilfest part. Yeah, we do get something new for Gilfest too, right? I don't remember what I remember we get something new for that. Oh, someone with MLB drop C. That's super rare. Nobody has been rolling for this event. Yeah, we're getting Lost Belt 3 soon. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm really excited for like 5, but next month's going to be really good. Because we're also getting the SR ticket then. Is there a big ruler fight in Lost Belt 3? I only put my salary at 60, mostly because I wanted to have that final Ascension model. Like the most edgy, overdone model we have in Fate. It's great.
いいだろう罠だ
飛べ
Getting Salther's a nice way to silver stream spawn. Good shit. Oh my god. I want to see that movie so badly. I'm so pissed. It was gonna be one of the first movies I'd see, anime movies I'd see in theaters. Cause like they don't show. I moved to a new city. It's a major city, and they actually showed anime movies in one of the theaters there. And then COVID delayed it, and now even Fathom Events isn't running it at my theater. You're not brave enough to go out. Dude. Man. I freaking love the Heaven's Field movies. I've been watching a lot of good anime movies recently, and I still keep like that Berserker fight from the second movie in my head. It's so good. Oh yeah, I hope I'm gonna buy the DVD for it because I'm not getting to see it in theaters. I mean, I'd probably buy the DVDs anyway. Yeah, see, that's what I did. I moved to the capital of my country to see it. High Dive? I don't even know what High Dive is. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay, it's like a new streaming. It's a streaming site. I have in fact seen Oath Under Snow. It's decent. I have problems with Oath. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I managed to find a version elsewhere a while back and watched it. I'm not a huge fan of it, actually. I've also read the manga for that because I was hoping the manga for that arc would be better, as I've seen Prisma Ilia. And I was not honestly impressed. Yeah. My issues with the movie are the pacing. The first 40% or so is great, I have no problems with any of that. It looks great. You're definitely getting an interest in Miu and Shiro's new family. And then everything beyond that is just poorly paced. Like, you rush through an entire Grail War in less than half a movie. A freaking montage is all you see of most of them. Then you just you basically like have you get introduced to the Grail War. You skip to the Gilgamesh fight, and you're like, okay. There was a lot of interesting stuff I would have liked to see, or see our Shiro grow into himself and become more powerful instead of just going straight to the fight. And then the fight itself with Angelica does not look as good as the fights with Angelica in the anime for Prisma Ilia, which was really confusing to me because it kind of looked really crappy, which was very disappointing. Like, on top of the pacing being screwed up, so you didn't really care about the fight too much, you then have like mediocre animation, which pulls you out of it even more. Yeah, it could have used at least an extra half hour. And here's the kicker, right? Like, I don't know if you actually watched the credits, but we get to the end of the story, and you're like, okay, the story's over, Miu's escaped, people who have seen Prisma Ilia know what's happening. Viewers of the movie who haven't seen Prisma Ilia are like, cool, she's gone, she's out of reach of Angelica, mission accomplished, our hero got beaten, story over. And then, instead of that, what we get is, like, the entire credits is being used as part of the video where we have Miu walking through town, and then we have, like, the entire first episode from Miu's perspective. And I'm like, why did we do this? We could have used all this, like, it was like 10 minutes of screen runtime they used to show us everything we didn't need to see about Miu arriving in her new world and meeting Ilia, that they could have instead used to make the actual film longer and clean up that excessively fast pacing. Like, they didn't know what they wanted to do. They were like, really slow pacing for 40% of the film, lightning fast pacing for the next 40%, and then the last 20% is like glacially paced. It was like so weird. It's probably my least. Well, it's not. I'm not going to say it's the worst Fate thing I've seen, since I think Extra is also atrocious, even though I love a certain Red Saber. I mean, yes and no. If you've read the manga, it's not they didn't actually skip anything. The manga is actually exactly the same. Like, they legitimately have a single picture for every single servant that gets beaten in the Grail War. Like, they basically took the manga and just one-to-one adapted. Like, it's not a bad adaptation. It's actually just their source material was bad and they didn't try to fix it. And then they only had an hour and a half. It's like, most of the shots they did are straight out of the manga. It's so weird. Yeah, it's so rushed. Yeah, like, they didn't actually skip many scenes from the manga. That's the weird thing. If they'd cut it a whole bunch, I would say their adaptation was bad. But I think it's just the whole arc is poorly written. Like, there's some good concepts in Oh Thunder Snow that I liked, and a lot of things I wanted to see them build on, but it's like they skipped a bunch of stages where you'd want to have some more of an understanding from Shiro's perspective of what's going on. It's one of those cases where you actually want people to change things in the adaptation rather than just doing one-to-ones. Like, obviously I'd like, you know, more stuff from the visual novel of Fate Stay Night in the adaptations, but in this case, it's kind of the opposite, where you're like, they needed to do more stuff. Yeah, it was really good, right? That's why I liked the first 40-ish% of the movie, because they really built up Shiro and Miu's relationship. The pacing was, I mean, relatively slow, but it was solid. There weren't any really bad scenes in that. It was when things started happening and the plot got involved that it just felt super rushed. Weird, because I thought they did a good job with the animated series in general. Like, there's a few scenes that I'm like, I'm not sure they really need to have there. Because I'm not huge into lollies, but
わかった
I liked Oath. I liked the...
三育
Yeah, Ufotable... Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They did pull back on Unlimited Lyrics in Heaven's Feel for the inner monologues. Like... It could have been better. It could have been better, but... They still did a... They still did a pretty good job, though. Like, I think everyone likes the Ufotable adaptations. They did a good job. I appreciated that they... For Heaven's Feel, they kind of skipped the scenes that are duplicated from Unlimited Lyrics / The Fate route. Yeah, there's some good lore in Prism Ilya, man. Yeah, Ufotable does a good job at adapting stuff. They miss out on a few things, but on the whole, I think they do an alright job. Like, you definitely still get a lot more from reading the book, but you're never gonna get everything from the book stuffed into a movie or a TV series, because it's just way too much dialogue. Like some scenes you'd basically have to like double the dialogue in, and they just make the episodes so slow. So I can understand why they cut a bunch of this stuff. There's a few things they needed to include though. Like, it's not clear in Unlimited Blade Works movie that in the visual novel, Saber does not actually do any damage to Berserker, but in the anime she does. And in the visual novel, the only thing Berserker cares about is the Khaled Bulg 2 that he shoots, the big missile. Yeah, I mean, I would buy a copy of the visual novel. I'd buy a copy of the new visual if they got redone. Yeah, Prisma Ilya is kind of weird. It has a lot of, like, awkward lolly Yuri fan service. But it does have a lot of good... It has a bunch of cool stuff in it. Like, Bazette from Hollow Ataraxia shows up, and she's an absolute monster. You get a bunch of cool fight scenes. You get to learn a bit about alternative timelines if you haven't... I mean, most of us have probably already read about, like, the theoretical pruning phenomena from Shimosa and the Lost Belts. But they introduced that to you. Yeah, she's an absolute monster. She eats like 20 gems from Rin with like no damage taken. They drop a house on her. She keeps going. And then you get introduced to Fragrak, which if you haven't seen before, she reflects Belafron to instantly kill someone. It's an effect that negates attacks by killing people after they've attacked. So like if you use your Noble Phantasm, and then she responds by using Fragrak, you will be dead. Your Noble Phantasm, although it launched, will have been rewritten to have never launched. And she'll be like, yep, that just happened. Yeah, they got some really good fights if you can get past some of that stuff. Although admittedly sometimes it's like it feels like a bit of a chore to push yourself past the awkward fan service stuff. I mean, I'm not sure if she would have won the 5th war. If you've read Ataraxia, she gets Angraminyu, and who's basically useless, and she like dies like a bajillion times trying to win the Grill War single-handedly.
庭園よ浮上せよふむああわかった
Yeah, the fan service is irritating if you're not into it.
ティアムトムーム起動信頼の力で何が
Like, there's a couple parts that I don't hate the fan service in, but on the whole, it's just not the fan service parts aren't my thing. I'm here for the lore and the cool fights. Like, I really liked when they show up in the alternate reality and you have Kid Gilgamesh show up. Yeah, he's animated in Prisma Ilya. And he's, instead of being arrogant asshole Gilgamesh, he's actually super chill. And he's missing half his inventory, so he actually has to start using his toolbox like, you know, he's supposed to, because, you know, Archer Gil has like a bajillion items in his the Gate of Babylon, but all he pulls out are weapons. And then in Prisma Ilya, he's like, yeah, I'm missing most of my weapons, so we're gonna start using weird utility stuff. Probably. Probably. He's actually really smart. He's like, oh, I got a cloak of invisibility here. You know, they crash in an abandoned school, and he's like, this is unacceptable. Gate of Babylon's out, an entire hot springs, and then a 4-poster bed with, like, a couple, table stands for him to rest wine on and sleep. He just chills out there. What else is great in that? There's also, Kirei shows up there, and he's actually not, like, the most hateable person for once. I mean, Kid Gilgamesh isn't as powerful as regular Gilgamesh, so he wouldn't necessarily win. Because he doesn't have as much mana capacity. Like, in Ataraxia... Yeah. I should just post my friend code, actually. How easy is it to just... Like in Hollow Ataraxia, when shit's going down, Kid Gilgamesh actually just drinks his Undo, the youth potion, so that he can get access to a full blast A and melt the whole army. Stop doing that. Alright, there we go. Can I add you? I could probably add people if they want to be added. 777 147. Probably. Let's see. We'll give you. If you want me to add you, I'm gonna totally make fun of your support list if it sucks. You just need to be aware of that. A roast. All right. Well, I can't roast you that hard then. You know those people in support lists who like weirdly have like one servant fully leveled or grailed, and then they don't max out their skills, and then they have like everyone else be garbage? Yeah, it's as long as you just try to fill out your supports and keep them updated with like your best servants. I think it's actually like helpful even if your supports aren't amazing to have a support list, because that helps you define what servants you want to focus on. Like your first selection, your first batch of servants you want to raise to max level, because it's easy to get sidetracked by new servants you rolled or ones you pick up in the friend point gacha. If you like set yourself a mission statement like, I want to level up these 7 specific servants plus smash, that keeps you focused on who you're leveling, who you're skilling up, rather than getting sidetracked. Yeah. You just fill out the support list. Like, I don't think too many people mind that much as long as you're trying to progress yourself. Like, the most important thing is logging in consistently, leveling your servants, and eventually getting somewhere useful. Hold up. We're going to... Yeah. I don't know how many friend slots I have. I think I have like 2 or 3 left. If you other guys want to add me, I'll just show my friend code here. Yeah, Mash is actually a good servant. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I got 3 friend slots. What do we got? Let's see. Yeah, Saber's hard to get something. I mean, this isn't too bad. Oh, you even split them between events and normal. You're doing way better than some people I know. I know people in real life who legitimately haven't split their normal and event lists. Or also who did things like specifically not filling in half the roster because they aren't gold. Or, as one of my friends did, he left his Saber slot open despite having Sabers, because he's like, this is actually a Nero slot. It's not a Saber slot. Oh, your choices for servants to level up aren't too bad. Like, Mecha Ellie-chan is good, because she covers three classes. Especially if you're a new player. That's like a 3-in-1 single target DPS. We got Mash. He's not sleeping on Mash. Well, skills are a little bit low, since Mash's skills are really good. Wait, Camelot for Bedivere? The problem with Bedivere is that he's story locked, so you will get only one copy. And he'll only be NP1. He's still good, but be aware that he's probably going to be NP1 unless you find a banner or roll story for him. Yeah, Paracelsus is pretty good. Paracelsus is pretty good for DPS. Hans is good for support. No complaints about this Ku. Ku is the best Lancer. 3-star, just flat out. Like, he's insanely hard to kill. He's really good. It feels like you've gotten a pretty good choice of servants you're focusing on leveling. I actually really like 100 Face Tassan. She's my favorite 3-star. Anyway, we're friending up this boy. Yeah. Yeah, he's in Starry Banner, so it's really hard to get a copy of him. Like, mine's still NP1. I haven't leveled him because I'm waiting on NP levels. Like, he gets out damaged by a lot of people at NP1. The NP, like, the advantage of 3-stars is usually that you have NP5 of them, so they do a ton of damage with their NP, even if their stats are low. Bedivere struggles with that. Anyway, you are GS Blade. I think it's so funny. Oh, this is Friend Request. I might have to refresh this because I don't actually see 21. Or if you added someone else. Yeah, you're making some good progress, man. Like, the most important thing on your servants is levels and skills. You can always grail people to make them more relevant. And people who are missing out on skills have, like, no idea how valuable skills are. Like, especially for certain servants. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care that much. I'm just being nice, so. I have a pretty good roster of friends, so it doesn't matter if that people add me or not. Yeah, new people definitely need some good support, so. Yeah, skill cooldowns are absolutely monstrous. Like, the difference between a 1-1-1 waiver and a 10-10-10 waiver is absolutely disgusting. You do so much more damage, you take so much less damage. You have cooldowns, like, Big 4 servants and a few other servants are just super important to have cooldowns. Like, my support list isn't the best. I want to show it right now. But, like, Neurocaster absolutely needs her first skill at 10. 50% battery is really good because I have aerial drive on her right now, which gives me 50% starting gauge. So having this skill at 10 means I can instantly NP when she enters the field. Which, if it was at 9 or anything below that, wouldn't be able to do it. I have to spend face cards or do something else to get her. Same with Astolfo. I mean, everyone's stuff's getting better. Same with Astolfo, has a 50% battery. Waver is really important for 10-10-10 because all his abilities give you NP battery, so you really, really need his stuff to get better. You might notice, like, Hijikata has one. He has anti-synergy with his own abilities on his first skill, and it only the cooldown really matters for me, so I don't give it. I don't expect to even use the cooldown more than once, so I just don't level it. It's actually the same as Ku's third skill, which I haven't leveled that much. I need to level that one, though, because Ku is supposed to be last standing, so he actually benefits from having all his skills at 10. Hokusai, I leveled up because she has decent damage gains on all of her skills. There is a... Hold up. I believe RayShift.io, I can just look up people's numbers. Yeah, I was just gonna say Hokusai has... Yeah, Hokusai has an evade that gives her a battery that scales. So you want to level that one up, obviously. And both of these just straight up increase damage, and when I'm using her for challenge quests, I need her to do the most damage possible, so I put all her stuff at 10. She's totally saved my life. I can actually just use I can actually use, if you just want me to look it up and comment on it, I can actually just use Rayshift.io real quick. If you post your code in chat. Alright, cool. Here, I will change scene real quick. I think I have this one. Close enough. I assume this is NA. Very nice, my man. That's a solid list. You know, I liked the Artoria. Fujino. Asagami Fujino is so good. It's so good. She's also really hard to get a hold of. She wasn't my favorite character in Kara no Kyokai, but I can definitely see you like her. You got the girl. Oh, it's not updated? Yeah, I'll check it. 1 month ago? What do we got? I was waiting to comment on the Hokusai at 111. Let's see what we got. Okay, she's actually maxed out. Oh, 10, 10, 10, level 90 Fujino. Makes sense. Finished getting your XP. Got Nobunaga Archer in there. It's like your garbage button. You're on Bunhig. We'll go there in a second, Kai Paperman. Ryoma seems to be waiting on lores, or you're leveling someone else up for that. This Hokusai is sad, though. This is a very sad Hokusai. She's got aerial drive instead of painting summer or dive to blue, which, judging from the fact that you have a San, I'm assuming you probably could have gotten that in summer. Yeah, you have a Holy Night Supper. So you've definitely been playing long enough to get one or both of those. That said, aerial drive is good, just not on Hokusai. Did you, I think you had to farm for an extra copy of... Yeah, you couldn't get the dive to blue drop? That sucks. I know, I had to farm that. I spent like 8 apples after clearing the shop, just 8 golden apples just to get the dive to blue. Yeah, I think, well, 10% art is still probably better. 10% art is still probably better than aerial drive, though, from the Painting Summer. So I believe Painting Summer is 10% arts, 10% NP gain. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you didn't have that, I would say that one you could definitely get without farming, apart from just completing the event. Which would probably be better on her, but aerial drive is decent. It's got at least the 10% NP damage. But she really wants the NP gain, because if you the arts up and NP gain is good for her, because if you get a single arts crit with her after her NP, she can loop. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're waiting till next summer where you have extra copies of them. Alright, that's fair. Yeah, she definitely needs that Painting Summer. Being able to loop with arts crits on Hokusai is absolutely disgusting. You're just NP, because she's a challenge quest boss. She's not a regular farming servant. So when you're fighting multi-class servant bosses, you can just NP and then go again. Got for event. Gilgamesh, good shit. Okay, looks like you got a couple drops where you've done this event before. Good stuff. Let's look at Akai's garbage build. Origin Bullet on Realm is also pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Good for a boss killer, Origin Bullet. 058756320. Alright. How long has Akai been playing for? I didn't actually use Hokusai on Burial Chamber. A good thought, though. This doesn't seem garbage. I like this. It seems like you don't know where you want to spend your lores, or where the best place to spend lores is. Neurocaster should have her first skill lord. Mash 10, 10, 10. Good stuff. Actually, is this refreshed? Last refreshed 4 seconds ago. We're probably good. Everything's at least a 6 for the most part. 2 aerial drive, max limit breaks. This isn't... You have CKT in your normal deck? You're stuck because you're stingy with hearts. Feels bad, man. I like Gilgamesh. He's like my favorite AoE archer. So I wouldn't be stingy with those hearts, but I can understand being stingy when you're like, oh, I've been in heart hell, and I don't know if I'm gonna be there again, so I don't want to spend it unless I really need the damage. But, I mean, Gil's all about damage, and all his skills help that somehow. So I think leveling his skills are good. The glorious 10-10-10 mash. My mash is actually not 10-10-10. She's almost there. She's just stopped because I believe one of the skills requires feathers, and I need feathers. Oh. We got Ultra Pendragon Lancer. Good stuff. Good stuff. Ishtar Rider. I think you're missing XP. Is what you're missing. 83 and 73 are awkward ass numbers. Need a saber. Yeah, she needs like 20 each for her last skill. That's why mine's not done yet, right? This is a pretty good. How long have you been playing again, Akai? Like Paper Moon? Farming QP. Yeah, she needs like 70 feathers plus Ascension feathers. Pretty brutal. Kind of farming QP. Oh, if you're stuck on QP, that sucks. I can see why you'd be low on QP. You've got a lot of servants who are almost there. 400 days? Okay. In that case, some of these CE choices are very questionable. I feel like you could replace a lot of these with better event CEs. Like CKT? Really? CKT in a normal, not the event day? Aerial Drive on Masashi is good. Aerial Drive on Altria is good. I don't know if you participate in a lot of events because it looks like you did. This is Apocrypha Afternoon in the Fortress, right? The Prisma Illy event's gonna be good. We get Kuro from that, right? 50% arts and quick? I guess that's okay. I see Shootin' as more of a farming servant though, so I usually want to give her like a charge thing because she doesn't have any battery. She doesn't have much of a battery to go with there. She's also level 80. I don't think I didn't notice that. But it looks like you're definitely working your way to getting all these servants up. Actually, based on this, because you said you've been playing here, I'm thinking you haven't played every day. You're probably locking in once in a while. You're definitely working on all these servants. You're definitely working on all these servants. They just need to get there, and you're headed in the right direction. Like, levels are important. I know some servants don't actually get that much. Like, Waver gets like 150 attack or something from his last 10 levels in total. But a lot of people, especially people who don't have the servant, don't know what the scaling's like for the last 10 levels of servants. So it's really important to push them from like 80 to 90 if you want people to use them. And not feel like maybe you're half-assing it on a servant. Because I noticed that I actually put my Waver up. Even though I know what Waver's scaling is, I sometimes don't pick Wavers who are level 80. Or I'll like pick a level 91 over it. I mean, this isn't a terrible support list. I feel like you could make it a little bit better. And you need a couple lures. Like, this one needs to be lured. I mean, if Gilgamesh isn't your, like, you're low on lures or he's not your target, I can see why not you don't put him at 10, but you said you're farming QP, so maybe you're trying to get there. No, yeah, like, that's the concern. You need them to not die on you, but for servants like Waver, he literally only gains like 100 health, like 200 health from going his last 10 levels, so it's not even a huge advantage to get them. It's just, in your mind, you're like, this must be way worse than it actually is. Depends on scaling. Some servants being at 80 is actually really bad for them because their best stats come from the last 10 levels. For a year plus playing, you could definitely have better leveled servants than this, but I don't know how seriously you've been playing. Levels are still big. Ishtar needs her levels. All right. Still, I like the servant choice. I like the servant choice. I love Okita Soshi Alter. She's great. She's like, sometimes I feel like she's the best she's the best assassin. Like just for general farming, because Semiramis isn't actually that amazing for farming. Yeah, Ishtar replaces mid B. Yeah, that's pretty close. I personally wouldn't have put her in. I personally wouldn't have put an underleveled servant in until they were maxed at max leveled. That's just how I do it. Got stuck in Camelot. Yeah, you can do that too, right? Ooh, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks. Camelot's definitely a wall for, I think, everyone. The only people it's not a wall for are people who are like really slow at getting through the game. Good luck on your QP farm though, man. That's a lot of QP getting. That's like 30 million per 10, right? Yeah. If you were low on QP, that's a lot of QP to farm. I hope you like doors, because you're gonna be there forever. Guess that's why the Ishtar's getting leveled, right? need a farmer. All right. Let me jump back. Yeah, I remember Gawain too. He's the first boss where I was like, oh shit, I really need to get back on track. Leveling some servants up because I'm so far behind. Yeah, I started leveling Uriel because my Uriel was, I think, 40 when I reached Gawain. Like level 40 with 111 skills. The game just wasn't that hard up to there. Yeah, I'm behind on a couple skills. I should really get Altria her 10s. I'm pretty sure my Uriel still isn't past that. He's like 7666 right now. Hey man. Yeah, you never always gold for your favorite servants, man. It's hard to tell if someone's gold phode off the top of my head. But like I definitely appreciate that. You want to stick all your gold stuff in your servants. You don't really need to for gameplay purposes, so making them better is good. Yeah, Uriel with nothing to help her stay alive sucks. I think my team to beat Gawain was good RNG with Uriel, Mash, and Gilgamesh, and I just used like mystic codes to keep Gilgamesh alive. Dude, max it. Use with support, Chloe. Alright, alright. Yeah, I just knew that Gilgamesh did big damage and was like, I'll figure out a way to make him work. That was like the first time I was thinking like, what servants do I need exactly? Have I been thinking about it? I think I could have probably used what's his face, Tesla better, because he has a chance to stun, but I don't remember what the aspect of Gawain is. Support Chloe hits like a trait. That's Chloe is Kuro from Prisma Ilia, so she hits like a train, doesn't she? She's like the boss killer version of Emiya. I don't actually have a copy of her, but I'm excited to be getting her because I think we get the rerun next year.
11の国間
Yeah. Gawain is a tough wall, man. Oh my god. I have a friend who's gonna be fighting him soon. I don't know how well he's gonna do. I'm expecting he's gonna do alright because he's got like a pretty jacked John altar. But he's definitely gonna want an archer or something to deal with those. And like Uriel is so good against Gawain. It's unfortunate that a lot of new bosses are like charm immune. Because just charm, NP, NP. Yeah, like at Gawain, you have to decide whether you want to get into the game or you want to take a break, or like quit the game. Because he's so difficult for people who have under-leveled servants. Like it's the first time you have to go, okay, do I want to do some farming to really beat this boss? Like I need a real plan to kill him, especially if you're just cruising through the story until then. Like I had a hell of a time heck of a time beating him the first time. After that, I don't think any of the bosses are like a massive difficulty spike. They're all of similar difficulty to Gawain, so if you've gotten through Gawain, you're just like, yep, business as usual. If you haven't though, it's a nightmare. Like, after beating Gawain, do you have any trouble with Mordred, or are you just like, I have my strategy worked out. I know how to do this shit. Because like Mordred's like, I guess she has a little bit less health, but she's kind of like a faster paced Gawain battle when they throw her at you. And I honestly didn't find her like too terrifying. It was just like, yeah, okay. This kind of thing again. We'll do a similar. Strat with Chloe makes everyone die. The solo strats sound good. Was it a solo or was that accidental? And like you're down to like Chloe on 2 hit points as your winning move. Accidentally. I've done both of those. Yeah, solo Chloe, that's cool. There's several servants who I believe can solo him. Coming up with solo strats is a pretty cool idea, especially if you haven't like looked up which ones can kill it. I kind of like coming up with new comps or interesting comps for challenge quest bosses.
人が触れられぬ天の城塞を見せてやろう。虚栄の庭園、ハンギングガーデンズ・オブ・バビロン。
That was your first solo fight. That's pretty cool. I think, what was the first boss I actually tried to bring a solo to? I think the first boss I soloed was I actually soloed Solomon with Ozymandias. I don't have a hobby. I borrowed one. That was an interesting fight. Oh, you had a Tristan? Nice. Tristan's a cool servant. I actually picked him for the earlier super rare ticket. I wasn't sure. I didn't know about David when I picked that. So I was like, oh yeah, like a Merlin tier evade. I mean, it's slightly worse. Obviously, it's evade instead of invuln, and it's only 1 hit. But I was like, this is so much value being able to avoid AoE NPs once. If you don't have Tristan, it's not a huge deal though. David does the same thing and is debatably better if you aren't looking for buff strip. So I really like Tristan. He's got some downsides to him, but he's definitely a fun servant to use. I really like his, he has like a sure hit single target MP, a battery, and like it's up to 50%. It's so good. You don't have lots of Davids? I mean, David does less damage, but for the rolls, yeah, David does less damage than Tristan, because obviously Tristan has like a way better NP for damage, but he's better at supporting and staying alive than Tristan is. Like, he has a charisma, so he helps your actual DPS do damage. Yeah, I know. Yeah, getting 3 stars to MP5, it can sometimes be really weird. Like, sometimes you don't get anyone good until you're like halfway through the game, and sometimes you're like, oh, I got, you know, the best 3 stars NP5 the first day you start playing. I mean, you're gonna get them eventually, it's just a matter of time. Yeah. David's damage is pretty mediocre, but he's got a solid art stack. He's got skill seal on his NP. He's got the same evade that Tristan does. He's got a defense up and a heal on his 3rd skill, so he's like way harder to kill, which is really what you want. Then his material costs are lower. He's a 3-star instead of a 4-star, so his like faction cost is cheaper. The only thing he's missing is a debuff strip. But like in general, he's just a cheaper, more efficient version of Tristan. Because Tristan also requires an absolute mountain of awkward materials like chains to get. He's like... I don't have my Tristan middle skill to max because it's so many stupid chains. I don't know, I don't need chains. Yeah, Uriel I think is my favorite 3-star archer. Like, yeah, all the 3-star archers are really good. There isn't really a bad choice. But just for what Uriel does in the early game, she's like my favorite 3-star. She just absolutely destroys some bosses. Like, even bosses that aren't sabers, she can trivialize by just CCing them every NP. Chain lottery, yeah. Chain lottery soon. Acquiring chains is also super awkward. I was trying to do actually, when I was going through Shimosa, I was curious to see if I could do an all bond run. But Shimosa was actually the last pseudo singularity I did. And having Tristan David was super handy for a couple fights, but man, the bond run in Shimosa is so hard. Like, I did the all casters one for Salem. That was actually pretty easy. I did the all women run for why can I not think of the name of the singular? Agartha. That was fun. I didn't have enough servants leveled to do the evil one, so I just skipped that one. But Shimosa is a hard bond run, and Tristan and Uriel are huge in that. Having good DPS in those slots is fantastic. I'm actually trying to, of like the classes that I'm trying to level, I would really like to level my casters and archers because there's so many cool. Oh, thanks Wednesday for the host. Good shit, man. Next year, chains lottery. I think I have most of the chains I need. Like, obviously I'm not going to get Tristan to 10-10-10, but that's not really my goal. I mostly just want his middle skill to be at 10. His middle skill to be at 10. I don't know, maybe you liked the prison outfit? I honestly haven't actually gotten most of the outfits unlocked that I have. There are a few outfits I really like, and a few that I'm very middling on. I brought that to me. Oh, did I not charisma waver? Oh well. it's hard to make that decision to spend materials that could be used on other servants who really need them, and instead put them in an outfit. That's why I haven't done it yet. I mean, I know I should, especially for servants I'm using more often. Like, I used to use Astolfo all the freaking time, because that 3-hit evade on a rider is so handy. Oh, we got a CE drop. Alright. Hello. Well, thanks for the host, my man. Hope you're having a great day. Salters. You did some Lost Belt 2? Was it your first time through Lost Belt 2? It's quite the ride. I really enjoyed Lost Belt 2. I'm excited to see what they do, because it's... Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm having a great day, man. I just like chilling out with people. Bonus points on playing a game and making progress in it. Another copy of Aerial Drive. I think that's my 7th one? Yeah. Oh. Going through the story for the first time is like the best experience in this game. I'm so excited for the future Lost Belts, because like the first story arc really started with mediocre writing, if you think about it, and then it just built up to be really, really good. Like, obviously that's when, you know, people start noticing how good the writing is in Camelot. This is gonna be really good because we're starting at higher quality. I'm more hyped for like the first 2 arcs than I was for, you know, Orleans. Yeah, Olympus is gonna be crazy. Olympus is gonna be crazy. I can't wait to try that shit. Like, I am on board for this story, and we haven't even gotten to like the story arcs have been hype. Like, Lost Belt 1 was super cool. Like, the Angry Piano Man scene was hype. It wasn't like as hype as maybe the Tiamat fight or Solomon, but I was still having a great time in that. And I honestly, story-wise, wasn't having an amazing time in Orleans at around that time. Like, it's decent, but I feel like for where we were in the previous story arc, this is going so much better. Olympus is gonna be good. Lost Belt 3 is interesting. I haven't actually heard much of anything about Lost Belt 3. I've seen I know there's a PV for it, and I believe I've seen a couple of the servants who are going to be in there. But other than that, I don't know much about it because people haven't been talking much about it. Like, I know a couple of the servants from Lost Belt 4 because people are really hyped for them. I know the theme of it. I only know that we get like that one Chinese emperor guy from Lost Belt 3. And basically, I don't know anything else about the story, so it's gonna be fun going in completely blind and seeing what they throw at me. Like, I legitimately know more about Lost Belt 5 and 5.1 than I do about 3. Yeah. Have a good day, man. Again, Urbuchi's Wild Ride. Is it in that again? Streamlabs is acting up again? That's annoying. Oh, there we go. See you, my man. Have a great night's rest. Man. I wish it was November already. We got so much cool stuff coming up in November. The SR ticket, I just want to be here already so I can level Nero. I already got one Nero. We need two. One is simply not enough. There's never enough Umu in my life. So the real struggle in Fate Grand Order is what to do with all my favorite Saber servants, because I can't put them on display all the time. That and farming materials.
つまらん
Yeah, it's a good time of the year to be getting the SR ticket, considering when the movie's coming out for us. Also a really good outfit. Saber Alter has a really nice outfit from Shinjuku. So does Jean. Yeah. And that was like the best part of Shinjuku, was having Jean. We're not gonna forget this time. Charisma. Having Jean Alter and Saber Alter hanging out with you in like the basement of a McDonald's, doing whatever. That was so much fun. It was so much. Agartha didn't have as much, wasn't as relaxing. It wasn't as well done, but that was so good. Like, a little dog. Is his name Khalid or Kavan too? Alright, so I'm totally distracted now thinking about Shinjuku. I completely forgot to mana boost Shiki so that we could actually kill him. Oh my god, what am I doing? Not paying attention is what I'm doing. That arts card was a complete waste. You're not. Heracles Megalos is a nightmare. He is quite difficult. He is quite difficult. I thought it was an interesting boss fight. There's like a few ways to approach both of his fights. Like you can try the DPS route, or you can go for a more of a controlled route where you're like taunting, focus down like the Columbus first, and try to like drag it out a little bit. Like Abigail can basically can almost completely destroy him in his solo fight, which was also really fun. Like, how often do we? That was like the first time we saw something happening outside of us that wasn't like we are the focus of the fight and everyone ignores it. Like, we're fighting pirates on board the ship, and then Penth and Hercules are just bouncing around the map, causing random damage to people. I thought that was cool. It gave us like this really cool chaotic battlefield feeling that we don't always see in the story. A lot of times in the story, it's like we're the center of everything. And there it was like Penthesilea carrying out her fight with Hercules. Well, you're just like, God damn it, man, don't sink the ship. We're just trying to survive. I would have been okay. Yeah, the ending was kind of weird, where it like hops out of the ground, does like some weird stuff, and then you fight like someone who doesn't want to die so that they can die for the last time or something. Who turns into a demon bond. It was really weird at the end. I feel like in general it wasn't super amazing though. I wasn't really hyped for most of Agartha. It was actually like very middling. As far as stories go, I was having a good laugh in Salem and really liked Cersei, so when I was going through Salem, I was actually really enjoying myself. A couple of the plays are iffy, but some of the plays are hilarious, like the one with all the Jeans. I feel like it was just like very middling for most of it. Like it was kind of obvious from the start that Columbus was going to be evil. Yeah. It is a great concept. I agree with you there. They could have done more with it. Like what they change, it's a little bit harder to point out. I feel like most of the story could have been better, but like it just what in general wasn't super exciting. But their concept, their pitch was good. They just didn't deliver on it in any way. So. Like, if you think Agartha was bad only at the ending, what did you like about, what do you think could have changed about Agartha to make it good? Yeah, she is hella annoying. Chaz is hella annoying. I think... I don't think that, like, solves the problem. There's a lot of things they need to change to make it just good. And really, you shouldn't be aiming for good. You need great. You want great. Like this, they have a really good writing team for this game. The fact that, like, even their events can sometimes be written really well and be genuinely funny tells me that their writing team either really likes this or they're really good. So I always want them to make everything great. Like some of the events, we don't really need these stars. Some of the events, like what was a good example? Setsuban. Setsuban was a really good event. The writing for that was fantastic. Summer 3 had a good story. The execution in gameplay terms I wasn't amazed with, but yeah, the story for Summer 3 was really fun. You're like making all these dojins. Every single time you go through the loop you get a new dojin that could be fun, like a new twist on how you're getting things done. You're getting some random story elements thrown in here and there. You got some fun interactions where, like, you know, Mordred's like an attendant at the hotel. But the 3 million point ladder is pretty brutal. No argument here. Yeah, that 3 million point ladder, holy shit. I got all 3 million points, but man, it felt like a lot. I felt like a huge grind to go through that. Even if I had to get most of the way through it just to clear out the shops. I feel like they do that for a lot of their ladder events where they're just like, oh my god, this ladder is so long. Like, Saber Wars earlier this year had the same problem. The ladder was so freaking long. It was so boring. At least we got to do like a ton of different, at least in, I don't know why I didn't like it more, but, oh man. Oh man, cramming Summer 3. You're crazy, man. You're crazy, man. Yeah, oh man. Saber Wars rerun was so bad. That was way too much farming. I've heard that a lot of people didn't like Journey to the West rerun. I thought it was a lot of farming, but I kind of appreciated the fact that you didn't have to spend a ton of apples to do everything, because some of the things just cost currency to run. Like when I was doing, that was also a really long event for farming though. Yeah, their ladder events just have so much farming. Except for Apocrypha. There was like no farming in Apocrypha. That was kind of cool. Like you just did the raids and we're done the ladder like halfway through the event. We're just like, well, I guess I've cleared the shop. What am I doing now? Like ladder's done, shop's halfway cleared. Yeah, the Saber Wars. Probably the worst ladder event. I'm glad we're done with Saber Wars. Although I hear there's a Saber Wars 2, so here's hoping they figured out that people hated that kind of farming. Like farming one node indefinitely for like a bajillion points is not anyone's idea of fun. If you're gonna make people farm, I think you want to like make people farm for a variety of things. Man, yeah. See, you were around for Apocrypha too? That first day, man. Like, I could not believe all 3 of the raid bosses died in like 4 hours. It's like I didn't even get an attempt on them. Like, I'm glad the next ones didn't just drop dead instantly. But man, the first ones just disappeared. I honestly kind of regret not spending more more apples on those raids, because even though I like emptied the ladder and cleared the store, the amount of QP you were getting from raid bosses was insane. But like, I recently went to like below 10 million QP. I was like, oh man, I should have farmed more in Apocrypha the minute I saw how low I was on QP. That is the drill thing. Yeah, there's apparently a raid boss in the upcoming event. Yeah, only for the first ones. For a couple of I think only the first, there's only a couple of raid bosses that like dropped that fast. After the first day, I was able to comfortably get most of the kills I wanted, because they stopped dying so fast. It was like, for the first day, they kind of like put the wrong number for kills you needed or something. Because the rest of the raid bosses, I personally found pretty easy to catch. A couple hours of farming at least. It's like, I typically get up in the morning, have like 15 minutes where I like just empty my AP bar, then I go to work, come back 8-9 hours later, and that's when I farm. And most of the Apocrypha raids were still standing after like 8-9 hours. Like, but like the first couple days were super stressful because I was like, oh shit, do I need to stay up till like you said, super early in the morning? In fact, I think for me at least, Apocrypha, the first bosses came out at like 1 or 2 in the morning. Which is why I was so surprised how quickly they disappeared. But I guess people on European timer. The NA server is sort of also the European server because they don't really have one. Yeah, it was good fun. Apocrypha is good fun though. I like raid events. It's nice to be able to drag out your single target servants and just try to do a mountain of damage. Like, this event, there's enough health on some of the mid-target bosses because I don't have like, and there's obviously more than 3 waves of enemies, so you can't really just bring a 3-turn farming team. So I got a decent excuse to bring out Scotty. Yeah. Ah, I see. We have a European here. Good stuff. Time zone shenanigans. Oh well, you can't really argue too much about that. I feel like even if they make another server, there's still gonna be people playing on the other servers. Like, there's tons of people playing on Japan. And like sometimes, like on weekends, I sometimes just played at like 5 in the morning or whatever if I'm playing games. So it's not unreasonable for people to stay up late for any reason. Oh, I almost NP'd with Semiramis there. I was not looking at what wave it was. I guess we'll stall a turn here. Yeah, you guys got through. Yeah, you Europeans got through the first raids fast. That was rough. Oh well. Yeah, this new event coming up, I was actually just looking at it on the fandom website. It apparently has a raid boss. 14 million times needed to defeat, so I don't know if he's efficient to farm because it's only 1 raid boss, but I do like that they added a single target boss for farming in this event, in this upcoming event. Because like a lot of my favorite servants are single target, so when I can't use them, I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Give me an excuse to bring out Okita again. Give me an excuse to bring out Cheeky like I am right now.
わかった参一せよ
Cheeky's so fun to use. Cheeky is fun to use. I just like that little burst of her theme every time you NP. I mean, she's like budget Jack, but it's still fun to use her. Like, how often do you use your single target servants on an actual farming node that's your standard 333 or whatever? Damage up. Actually mana bursting this time. Not the worst thing I've forgotten to do. Oh, click this one. There we go.
11の国間
I think it was like a couple days ago, I was farming the Burial Chamber node, and I totally NP'd one of the random skeletons there that has like 10,000 hit points. I didn't change the target. Feels so dumb.
人が触れられぬ天の城塞を見せてやろう
You guys ever done that when you're like farming stuff and you're like, I just did the completely wrong thing. What was I thinking? I feel like it's a lot easier to do that on these nodes where you do have to actually think about what cards you're picking. Whereas like with 3-turn nodes you're 3-turning, you're like, I have a deterministic way of clearing this node so you don't make stupid mistakes like that as often.
わかった参一せよ
Yeah.
飛べ
So I've been watching all of Makoto Shinkai's movies, one a week. You guys haven't seen those. Those are some pretty intense. Those are some pretty emotional films. Like, unfortunately, they only have. Unfortunately, you have to like go buy them or find them. I don't know where you're gonna find them normally. I've got a couple of them, like Your Name and Weathering with You, on the YouTube store. This YouTube like rents DVDs. And they were insanely good. I was like, oh, I've heard this guy's good, so I dragged my friend into watching them with me on Sundays, and that's what we do. Just watch a Makoto Shinkai film, discuss it. It's pretty fun, you know. COVID keeps us apart, but we can still like remotely have a nice viewing party.
持ってって持ってって賄賂ですよ賄賂えダ
Have any of you guys seen them? It's like Tenki no Ko is Weathering with You. Your Name is like, I think it's the biggest animated film in Japan in terms of sales. Like, it's made a shit ton of money. I think Garden of Words is on Netflix, which isn't my favorite, but it's like not a bad film. It's actually super relaxing. Anyway, we watched 5 centimeters per second yesterday. That movie has like some of the thickest atmosphere I've ever had. Like it's like it has a single tone. It's very depressing. It's like less than like 5 minutes in the movie. Like, we're usually joking and talking and commenting on the characters, doing whatever, you know, because we're like just hanging out at home talking. And less than 5 minutes into that movie, it was like completely silent. Like, the atmosphere is like a blanket of snow on the entire room. Everyone's just like, okay, I'm in. This movie is real. Oh man, it was quite the movie. It didn't have like a massive emotional punch at the end or anything like his latest 2 movies had, but it just maintained a solid atmosphere the whole time. The plot was like very believable, and you really sympathized with all the characters, what the main character was going through. Like, it does a lot of showing. It has a lot of narration, and it shows you exactly what's going through. Like, the first 10 minutes, you're like on this train. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but if you ever like traveled to meet someone, and not like a huge distance like planes, but like, you know, you're in like middle school or high school, or even like university. You're going to visit a friend who you haven't seen in a long time, and it's like you encounter delays, and it's so frustrating because like I used to visit a couple friends that I knew in high school when I was in university, and I'd like travel by bus to see them, and you know you only have like that weekend to see them or a couple days because they're busy and have a life, but you're traveling like 4 hours. It's eating like half your weekend, and it's so stressful when you encounter delays or issues when you're traveling by yourself via like via rail or the bus or even like planes. It's so easy to sympathize with that character. He's like traveling to meet his best friend from school, and there's like a snowstorm that kicks up, and he's just like, I only have this one night to see them, and then I'm moving all the way across the country. Like, you could totally feel for him. And then instead of just telling you that, they're like, you're going to experience this by being with him while he's waiting. But while he's sitting there in the snow, freezing, waiting for the stupid rail to continue moving. Such a good movie. It was a really good movie. I was like talking with my friend afterwards, and I was like, man, we both didn't say anything. We both agreed that the atmosphere was so strong. It didn't have like a punch, like if you've seen Tenki no Ko or something like that. It's like feelsy, and then at the end you get like this, you know, that killer punch where they're like, we're gonna make you cry now. Have a nice day. This movie didn't really have that, but it had a very consistent atmosphere, which I haven't really seen in any movie before. It's like it just starts with one tone and it keeps it, but for some reason it's not boring. Like when you see an action movie, you need to usually turn down the action to build up the character or have him interact with people, or like when you're telling a lot of feelsies movies, they'll like not be, they won't be brutal right at the start. They'll be like, here, we're introducing you to this character so you care. You know, we'll have some bright moments so you're not like mega depressed. And yeah, this movie didn't do that. It was just like, we're gonna keep this tone and we're gonna characterize our character even in that tone. So like throughout his life, he's still keeping this tone where it's kind of sad, and he's like sort of detached from the life he's living because he's always looking to see this person again that he's like fallen in love with or whatever. Yeah, had quite the heavy atmosphere. I know we're in a Fate game room, but I figure most people watch anime, so I'll give my recommendations on Makoto Shinkai films any day. They're good stuff. Kind of got inspired to start watching anime movies in general by watching the Heaven's Feel movies and obviously Oh Thunder Snow. I was like, damn, these are pretty good. My previous experience with anime films was like the No Game No Life movie, which I didn't think was too great, but now that I'm searching out great movies, I'm finding that there's a lot that they don't even have to be tied to a series to be good, and are quite impressive during like I don't know. I feel like some of them could rival some good Disney stuff. Like obviously we got I cannot think of Ghibli films that are good. But other than Ghibli, I don't really know who makes, you don't really know who makes good anime movies. Have any of you guys in chat actually watched any of Makoto Shinkai's stuff? No? Alright. Well. In that case, you should consider watching Weathering with You or 5 centimeters per second. Next time you're like, what movie should I watch? I don't know where you're gonna get it. I think you can find 5 centimeters per second straight up uploaded on YouTube. with subs. My one friend is really cheap and lazy about finding stuff. They're like, we're not going to watch this unless we can find a copy for free. I always got to find out how they're going to acquire it before we can actually go watch it, have a viewing party.
ティアムトムーム起動信頼の力で何ややろう
Pew pew laser. Damn it.
つまらん
あいつ
計略だ
落ちよ
I really would have appreciated a buster or a couple arts cards from you guys that turn.
ああ
Okay, well, I said that and I got all the busters.
あいつ
Both the busters and all the arts cards. Alright. RNG gonna RNG.
苦しかろう楽になるか
Alright. I think I'm just about done farming these rockets. I don't really want the copper currency. There's like only there's only the silver XP things left for me, and I honestly don't need the silver XP. I have like maybe like 500 gold XP just sitting in my present box, and I've been turning silvers into mana prisms because there's just so many of them. I can't deal with them. Like I actually ran out of places I wanted to put XP into. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have done a Brave Shame with Stella. Eventually, you too will reach a place where you have more XP than you know what to do with, and it's just sitting in your box taking up space because you're like, do I want to ascend this person? I don't even have the materials to level up any of their skills. I'm not going to use them. I'm kind of there with a couple servants. I'm kind of there right now. Is there like a long delay on stream? This day is yet to come. It'll happen. It'll happen sooner than you think if you're doing lotteries. Where you're just like, I don't know what to do with all this XP I have. What a terrible hand. Alright.
あいつ
無駄だ
そこだ
罠だ
It depends on how many new servants you get and how much you're playing, but it'll happen. Like, if you're not if there's no events going on, you're just like farming materials or XP. You have tons of XP in the second archive and you're not spending.
わかった
やれやれ
We should do like
ふむ
this one.
あいつ
飛べ
Just saving them for new servants. Like, you need a lot to level 5 stars, so I can see why you wouldn't be out of XP. I'm currently just not at the point where I have so many
あ
5 stars that I have things to spend on. Like, I have a bunch of casters that I haven't leveled to max, but I'm not sure I actually need them to be
あ
leveled.
飛べ
I actually need the mana prisms more than I need silver XP. Because I have most of what I need,
僕が好み
I just don't have, like, I didn't have the mana prisms for, like, all these 5,000 mana prism investments you gotta do. Like, there's gonna be another one next month, I think. Chaldea Tea Time, another CE in the shop that's only there for, like, 3 months, and then you have to spend mana rare mana prisms to get a hold of it.
夢の終わりだなんだよやれやれなんだよ
Like, the last couple events have actually been a bit of a drain on
じゃない
XP apart from
そこだ雪は終わりだ
Thousand.
先に行って
No, it's 1,000 mana prisms each. You need 5,000. Yeah, you need to. Yeah, you farm. Like, the best way to farm mana prisms is by doing the node, the 30 XP, the 30 AP XP node. And I've done a lot of that just so that I could actually get them, because rare mana prisms are a lot harder to get than regular mana prisms.
ああ、ワクン。飛べ。さてどの毒が好みだ。痛い。そうだろう。
オーセロと
あ
なんだよ
無駄だ。
あ、落ちろ。
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Unfortunately, I only started playing like beginning of this year, so basically every servant is a new servant for a while. I think the first rerun for me is... What's the first rerun for me going to be? It's Apocrypha reruns in 2 years. I think it's going to be the one with Ryoma, because I think that's next year. I think that's going to be my first rerun.
では
夢の終わり
11
だなんだよ
庭園よ。浮上せよ。
Yeah, the getting that bonus is pretty huge. I'm looking forward to that change. It comes in the change to reruns comes in like Christmas, right?
人が触れられぬ天の城塞を見せてやろう。虚栄の庭園。
For sure, no summer is, yeah.
バ
Okay, next month. So you're probably getting the one for this Christmas, right? The Altera ones? Yeah, the Christmas rerun. You're getting those ones. Nice. Nice and nice. I'm glad they're making mana prisms a lot easier to get. It's kind of really irritating how difficult they are to acquire right now. Like without this change. Like they keep sticking things in the rare mana prism store, and you're like, why did you stick this in this store? It's so difficult to get a hold of.
やれやなんだよ
Like I feel like that's a good change. They're trying to make some of the harder to acquire materials a little bit better.
俺の前に立つんじ
Oh
ゃない
man, I'm actually really hungry. What time is it? Oh damn, has it actually been like 3.5 hours?
浮世は終わりだって先に
I did not think I was streaming for this long. I was actually having a really good time hanging out with you guys.
を煩わせるな。
Yeah, sacrifice a 4-star for 1 rare. That's generally not worth it, considering you need like a bunch of rares for even the most basic thing. Here, I think I'm done farming for the day. But like, if you just look at the rare mana prism shop, the amount of rare mana prisms you need to get anything of value is so expensive compared to you're trading a 4-star. Like you need either MP5 of a servant already, or you need to throw out a servant you don't only have like a couple copies of, which is pretty hard to do. Yeah, over time they aren't that rare. I agree with you there. Depends on how long you've been playing, how much you've been spending. Like I don't have any right now, but like for the most basic things you want rare mana prisms to spend on. Lore's being 5 is really wonky, but I think that's just like a dump for mana prisms if you have nothing else. Same with the friend points. But like fondant au chocolate, 5 rare mana prisms. Okay, so you're gonna want this MLB, so it's 25 rare mana prisms? Are you serious? One thing is 25. Like, you don't get enough rare mana prisms to the point where this is a reasonably cheap investment, or like something you could actually plan ahead. Now that you're getting 5 here and there for playing. Fondant au Chocolat? Oh, it's an insanely good CE. It's a special attack divine and starting battery. Like, this is special attack. This is a extra 25% damage on top of all your multipliers. You do bananas damage to anyone with divine. With max limit Fondant. Like, this is reasonable, like 1 mana prism here for this. This is what I would expect for mana prism prices. Also, some of the things in the star are really wonky. This, I know these are for whatever. I'm not gonna play the rare mana prism star since they're kind of making it more accessible. We'll see where I feel about it in a year. 3 mana prisms for one of these. Oh, the CE XP. Wait, is it 3 rare prisms for CE XP? Which one is that one? Like one of these? Yeah. I feel like a lot of these single ones, a lot of the single CEs, like this one, like this obviously isn't a good CE. Nobody wants this, right? These are just there for collectors who want the art or want to have everything. I don't mind weird collector stuff that has no, like, realistically no gameplay effect because this is, I believe, an effect of like a 3-star CE. I don't feel like putting this at like 3 mana prisms is like okay, especially because it was kind of like a 2019 special event. Things that are big for gameplay are kind of weird putting them behind so many mana prisms. Like this, you're not gonna buy this because you need a copy. You're gonna buy it because you want the art or you want the you want to have a copy of it. I have actually wanted a copy of Fondant, as I was actually looking for special damage on one of my servants. That was for the Bull quest in Summer 2, right? The Summer 2 rerun. The Bull challenge quest. This would have been huge for me. Sweet Crystal's okay. Again, if it's max limit broken and you can get it 50%. A few of the other, like Chaldea Lunchtime's only 1 mana prism, rare mana prism, which I think is a fairly reasonable price. Now that they're giving them out in batches of 5, maybe it could go up, but I'm looking forward to actually getting my first rerun. I think I know what I want to buy. Oh yeah, kind of Mystic Codes. I forgot they put Mystic Codes behind the rare mana prism star. That's a weird choice. Alright, we have Robrand, and I think there's one other Anniversary Blonde, right? Yeah. Both of these behind rare mana prisms kind of sucks. Because I think they were available easily earlier. And they're also, I believe they're decent. Like collectible items is kind of, items that you change. Yeah, you need Mona Lisa for QP farming. I'm glad they put it at 1. It sucks that it costs any at all, but at least it's not like 10 mana prisms. Like rare mana prisms or something stupid like that. Like, could you imagine if the Mona Lisa... Oh, I must have been thinking Mona Lisa was this one. But anyway, could you imagine if Mona Lisa was 25 freaking mana prisms, rare mana prisms, to get a copy of Max Limit Rogan, like Fondant or Sweet Crystal? Yeah, it also costs that. But mana prisms are farmable. I don't mind things being expensive as long as they're farmable as much. Like, I don't like the AP system, but whatever. It's a lot of mana prisms, but it's a good reason to spend your mana prisms. And realistically, mana prisms just give you, most of the things mana prisms give you are things that you just accumulate anyway. Like bows, you're getting in events anyway, so this is just an extra source of them that you're getting from completing events or farming other stuff. XP, again, farmable. Tickets are the only thing that it gives you that's unique. So, if you're not in a rush to buy all this stuff, I can see just going in on summoning tickets. Yeah. But like 100 mana prisms per month is like super affordable. Like just by completing events, you usually get like 500 mana prisms
よ
from
う
an
に見
event.
惚れたかうむうむこの正直者め
Oh, thanks for the follow, Flame Troll. Yeah, always buy the tickets. I'm just not in a rush because I have 19 days. I mean, I can just buy them right now. Yeah, you always buy your tickets. Everything else, you can just acquire naturally over time or doing other stuff. Like, code openers show up in events, so I don't really want to buy them. I don't have a Parvati, so I don't buy the Spiritual Undress. XP and foes also show up everywhere, and the XP stuff is farmable. It just saves you time and gives you an outlet for spending the resources. I'm probably not going to buy these, because I have most of the servants. Like, my current silver foes, I still have stacks of them chilling out in my bags. Yeah, there's some right there. Yeah, never forget the tickets. I didn't buy them at the start of this month because I didn't actually have the mana prisms to buy them. I actually got all these mana prisms from Guildfest. And I was trying to buy out Be Graceful as soon as possible. I mean, it's not amazing. It's like Mystic Code XP, but it's better than the existing Mystic Code XP things, and most of my Mystic Codes aren't leveled to max. Only the plug suits and the base one are maxed. Oh, and I think the winter one. I don't know. What's the thing for changing? Yeah, we'll have to go to it. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, it was like 100 boxes. It was like 90 boxes-ish. It wasn't too bad. I didn't have the perfect 3-turn setup either. It was actually kind of funny. I was learning like this really weird setup with Caster Nero for most of the nodes, where instead of always 3-turning, you'd, depending on the cards you drew, you could 3-turn, other turns you couldn't, and it relied on the fact that my Caster Nero was only NP1, so she couldn't instant kill the monster reliably. So I could like, sometimes, if I didn't apply all my attack buffs, I would like Paracelsus first turn, clear the first wave. Second turn, don't apply attack buffs, use arts cards from Nero to generate NP. And thus you could loop. So you needed really specific card draws, like I needed an arts chain with Nero on turn 1, or a quick and an arts or double arts from Nero on turn 2 in order to 3-turn. Oh man, I would have loved to have a Nidokris. I actually drew her Drain Guildfest. Yes, Scotty Dantes. I did not roll for Scotty because I did not have anyone who synergized well with her. And I didn't roll for Dantes because I didn't have a Scotty. So, I kind of was like, huh, alright, well, I guess we're doing some other weird janky stuff. But it wasn't so bad. I actually kind of started streaming a little bit during Guildfest. It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. Scotty's good. Scotty's good for 3-turning easy nodes. What do you actually do if you're like a Scotty user for these nodes where there's like minimum 5-turn clears? I assume you just don't use Scotty or just use her as a battery and do like a lot of face carding like I've been doing. I'm just curious what people do who have the Scotty combo for these nodes with extra spawn rates.
そろそろフォーさんも冬毛になったせいで達成感が失われた頃ほど油断
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really have a good strat. You kind of just put some servants in there and do stuff. I guess you can skip this event. This is one of the only events I would have actually considered not skipping, because you get the other version of Mecha Elishan, right? Who is technically another source of free Saint Quartz if you level her bond up. You know, I can see skipping events after Guildfest because it's like that's a hell of a lot of farming, especially if you're doing Gaudy. Like, how many boxes did you do? Like, it's a lot of. I was surprised how much effort it was to just keep farming in. This was like my first lottery. I tried to go a little bit hard on. Yeah, it's a lot of effort to put in the time to do all those boxes. Like 50 boxes. 50 boxes is a lot of effort. I didn't appreciate how much effort it was. That's why I still have apples left. I like spent like 90 gold apples, I think. 90, 100-ish gold apples, and was like, you know, I'm done. It's a lot of effort to do that. Like, you can do it. It's just a lot of time and energy to keep farming those nodes. I'm actually like a little bit more impressed that there's people who have like 200 plus boxes done. Yeah. Yep. Christmas is lottery. Yeah, the limited boxes thing sucks. They did that for the Da Vinci rerun too, I think. It's very, very irritating. You can only do so many boxes, and you're like, I want so much more though. Oh well. Still fun to do the lottery. Like, at the very least, you're getting a ton of secret gems, which are like a ton of secret gems and a bunch of the mats it gives you, which are usually a pain to get, on top of the store. Which, having both of those makes it a very lucrative event. And something to look forward to, even with limited boxes. Alright. I'm actually gonna head out now. You caught me towards the end of my stream, Flame. We've been going for about 4 hours now. I've got to go make myself some dinner. I'm probably gonna like deep fry some chicken or something, since it's a holiday and I have stuff to do. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I've had a great time. It's actually been one of my most enjoyable streams in terms of farming. Yeah, you too, man. Alright. You guys take care. I'm heading out.